the Yeek joints, the dance stuff that we used to rock down here in Atlanta.
You said what's his name? DJ Smurf?
Mm-hmm.
Never even heard of the boy, man.
Produced for Yin Yang, but yeah, he played the classic Atlanta stuff.
I just noticed we're live, and I'm like,
All
sorry.
right, so I just tweeted the joint out. If y'all can retweet it, y'all know me. I'm my Twitter game is still under 2,000. So I ain't. Yeah, did you talk to your man?
He said when I hollered at him, he was like, "Oh, like I thought it was gonna be a big issue." He was like, "Oh no, just send me his old one and send me his new one, and then I'm gonna send it to the people. They'll take care of it."
All right, please. I know it's a pandemic going on.
He did say be careful when you do get it. He said be careful about the music you post. Like just be
because I haven't posted anything in 2 years. You know what I mean? So I saw this Twitter joint. They got it where you could just erase every tweet you ever put out. So I'm gonna just, you know what I mean?
Restart.
Just delete. Yeah, just restart. But I mean, you know, and even so, yeah. So if you could just do that, I appreciate it. All right, y'all. So first live Apartment 5B podcast. My peoples is with me ever. We've never done nothing live. I mean, it's live, but we've never promoted it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? We never told nobody about it. My brother Ev, what's going on, good brother?
Good, brother. As good as you can get. Peace.
Exactly. Vern out the ATL.
What's going on, people? Glad to be here. Let's have some fun.
Porsche.
How's it going, guys?
I'm great. Y'all G's.
What's going on? How y'all feeling? Blessings to everybody.
Everything is everything. So like I said, I sent out the tweet. I'm like Barksdale out here in these streets right now. So y'all retweet it, get it out to your people. Let's get some people in here chopping it up with us. But yeah, you was talking about the ghost of Christopher Wallace. That's a perfect segue into what Ev want to talk about. So let's go with the ghost of Christopher Wallace.
I played it about 5-6 times today, and I was just like, yo, I'd rather listen to this 7-8 times before I listen to the whole album that he just put out, whole written testimony.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just what I'll be saying. Like that, with the exception of like Shiny Suit Theory is still a very good record for me. That's on the album, but like I was going back and forth between those two today, and I was like, I just rather listen to those two as opposed to listening to the rest of the album, despite Jay's performance on it. You know what I mean?
I feel you. Ev, you've been dying to talk about this JLF. What's good?
Yeah, man. I think it has I might be one of the very few, but I think it has the possibility of being a classic. I mean, you can't call it a classic yet because it's too early. But I think, and another thing too, one thing that may keep it from being a classic too is you got at least one or two beat wise, just kind of duddish, not duds, but duddish. So that may stop it. But I think all around, man, I think it's an amazing project. Me myself personally, I think. Me myself personally, that's redundant. But I think, yeah, man, I think shit's a banger myself. I'm one of the people that when I heard it the first time, I was impressed. I listened to it. Like I didn't talk to you about it. I listened to it for a minute. I lived with it for a while. I as today, and I mean today is what it's going to be. So I feel like that's it forever. But it goes so fast. I feel like it has the potential to be a possible classic. I think there's some really like dope shit that he played with in here. Of course, Jay's performance is something to be talked about because I haven't seen this pen from
now.
Jay.
Here's the wild part. Before we go too deep, Ev don't even like Jay-Z. So that when he called me, no.
Oh, here you go with this shit. No, it's not that I don't like Jay-Z. I'm not the biggest Jay-Z fan. Like for me, Jay, my last Jay-Z album that I really liked was Black Album. That's years ago. Right. So ever since then, I like the direction that Jay's been writing. Like for 444, I thought direction was good. I didn't necessarily care for the pen so much.
Right. But I'm just saying, you calling me talking about Jay's killing it. I was like,
yeah. And I feel like on his joint, he I don't know what he been meditating on or what zones he been in, but I feel like also there is definitely some influence that's coming from from Jay Leck and for what he's writing from his perspective. So I feel like that always plays a part with any MC when you're doing a collaboration album. It's always going to play a part. And I think it's very interesting too, man, just to throw this out there and maybe it says this somewhere else, but it don't say like on the not unless you go into the credits, it doesn't say like featuring Jay-Z. It doesn't say Jay Electronica and Jay-Z. Like unless you go into the credits to see who the writing partners are, you don't see Jay-Z's name on here at all. So I think that's interesting too. Something to talk about.
I mean, I'm not mad at I gave it 4 mics. I personally even like the joint Ezekiel's Will, because I know when we first spoke, that was the one I really like. I think the thing for me is that, but I'm I've always said that stuff is always about expectations, and my expectations for this was 0, like literally. So I wasn't like the Jay Electronica, Edge of My Seat. Oh my God. Those are the ones who, like my man Malik back home, like he loves Jay Elect and he's disappointed in the album. And I'm like, I love the album, but I think it's based off of expectations. I had 0 expectations. So I wasn't like I said on the show we did about Jay Elect that we dropped today. I never thought Jay Elect was the next one. When people was like, oh, he's the next, Mount Rushmore MC. I never felt that way. I thought he was dope, but I never felt like this dude is gonna be I love his flow, I love his voice, but so again for me it's weird because I had no expectations. You know what I'm saying? Likewise. I think Jay washed him. I think Jay's bars are better, but there's probably only 1 or 2 songs that I think that like Jay Elect came whack on. What was that joint, Yal? The one with
Flex Capacitor.
Flex Capacitor.
Capacitor. I'm sorry. And,
like that joint, I felt like he just jumped on and kind of just was like, big up to my man in the Umi. Like it was just so lazy. Like he was just like, oh snap, I gotta rhyme. Okay, cool. Here, let me throw something together. But then there's other joints like that joint Universal Soldier. I think he killed this verse on that. There are verses that I do think he killed too, but I think standing next to Jay, I just don't feel like he came with it. Vern, did you peep that, or did you even bother with the Jay?
I listened to the album. It's all right. I mean,
sorry to interrupt. Kill, you got to put a link up for the live. There's no link.
No, Eddie just posted it actually. Thanks, Eddie.
Okay, cool.
I just retweeted it. So if you guys, and he tagged all of you. So if you guys just tweet that out, it'll be dope.
Y'all know me. I don't know nothing about this live stuff.
All good. So. Eddie's got us.
Good looking at. Yeah, he already chimed in.
Yeah.
What you gonna say? No, my bad. Yeah, I mean, Vern, what you saying?
I listened to it. It's cool. It's one of those things, man. There's no medium on social media. Either Jay Electronica invented air or he's trash. And I've never been like, Jay Electronica. So I'm like you, Kill. I wasn't waiting on with bated breath for it to come out. And I listened to it. It's cool. And me personally, I think it wouldn't have been. I think the album would have been worse, if that's the term to use, without Jay-Z on it, because I think it added a counterbalance. Because to me, kind of Jay Electronica, he stays in the same kind of range, and I think Jay-Z brought something extra to it. So for that point, I mean I like the album. It's cool, but I ain't gonna really run it back and forth. I need to listen to it a couple more times just to do it justice, but. That's my thing on it.
I'll say the wild thing for me is that I started listening the Thursday night it dropped, and then like I hadn't stopped up until this new Childish Gambino, and I wasn't trying to like it. Like that was the difference. Like I wasn't like the Jay Elect person, like how I always say with Common's Electric Circus, where it's like, I want to like this. Like I don't have no investment in this whatsoever. Like I don't have to like it, but. For some reason, it just I like it. I kept playing it. Like I can almost rhyme along with it now. I've been listening to it that much that I can almost repeat some of the lyrics back. And I think for me too, it was kind of like the beats. I'm not excited about the beats. And we talked about it during the last show that you got Jay Elect, pre Jay-Z, and then post Jay-Z. And what I mean by that is all the Jay Elect stuff, Exhibit C, Exhibit A, the Ghost of Christopher Wallace. Shiny Suit Theory, that was all done when Jay Elect was rocking with Puff and Just Blaze. And then once he got signed to Rock Nation and he stopped messing with Just Blaze, it was like this is the Jay Elect that we got. So I actually prefer the mixtape I gave you, Ev, when we went to LA. That Best of Jay Electronica stuff. That's that actually kind of got me hyped for the project. You know what I mean? And it's definitely a letdown from the Ghost of Christopher Wilde. So I came across some joint the other day on YouTube that was crazy that he did. So I don't know. What about you, Porsche? You liking it?
I didn't go into it with any kind of expectation. I mean, Jay Electronica is one of those people, like, he has made fans wait. And I'm not a Jay Electronica fan by any means, but he's made fans wait 10 years, more even, for something to drop. And then he drops this collab album. I mean, it was a disappointment for me. I feel like it's a cop-out, because you collab with Jay, who obviously we know his stan base is unreal. You sort of kind of bought yourself a guaranteed hit record.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I think I'm not going to say that there's no bars. Like, Jay Electronica comes with bars. I mean, that's undeniable for sure. But at the same time, I think the fact that it was a collaboration album after this long is a little bit of a cop-out. And to me, I'm kind of like, yeah, well, carrying a whole album by yourself is a different story than having somebody like Jay-Z alongside you on all fronts, on taking some verses so that you don't have to, you know, spit as much, and then also on marketing and sales and all of that kind of stuff. So to me, I was sort of, yeah, I mean, I'm like Vern, like, it was cool.
Right.
It didn't blow my mind by any means. I mean,
Right.
his references, people are going crazy over these references and Minister Farrakhan and this and that. And I'm like, okay, well, like, Public Enemy did that. You know what I mean? Like, it's not groundbreaking for me. I don't know. So I'm just sitting here like it's a 3 mic album. I don't know. I've had, how many 3 mic albums were released in 2019?
Right.
Okay.
Hold on for a second, Vern. I just want to shout out everybody over here. Yao, your man Snobby is over here.
No, that's my homegirl, Snobby. My homegirl.
Oh, sorry. They ain't got no profile pickup.
Yeah.
My man Frank, Eddie, Schwanner from No Knockoffs, my man Corey checking in. Yeah, and Corey and Schwanner agreeing with you, Porsche, that it wasn't a debut album. Same thing with Snobby, not a debut album at all. It's all
Listen,
watch the
I
phone
went
replacement.
back and forth with Pusha Thanos on Twitter, him and Be Mad too, who, come hell and high water, wanted to drag me for saying that this isn't a debut album. And they keep bringing up, like, well, Ghost and Ray had a debut album, and that was featuring, and that was this, and that was a collab album. And I'm like, listen, this was said to be a debut Jay Electronica album. Halfway through, we hear, oh, but Jay-Z's going to be on it. And this,
all right, hold on for a second. I'm gonna get to you, Vern, but I'm just playing devil's advocate just because we live. Just this is the only reason why I'm playing devil's advocate. Does anybody remember? I don't remember the build up for the Purple Tape. I don't remember. I just remember, if I'm not mistaken, it was just, I don't remember the build up at all. So was it billed as a Ray Ghost album, or was it billed as this is a Raekwon album, and then we got it and it was Ghost and Ray, and we just weren't mad at that? Because I can't remember no source ads.
That's what I remember it being. I remember it being pushed as, and the reason I remember it being that way, and people in the comments can fact check or whatever, but I remember RZA, because he had this lineup of solo debuts coming out from the Wu members, he never called anything a collab album, even though the Clan members were going to be featured on the albums. Do you know what I mean? Like, I remember Purple Tape never being said to be a collab joint, or even having Ghost be on there until we got it, and we just weren't mad at it. That's right, what I remember.
But that's the thing. So that's why I could understand somebody saying
RZA also didn't make us wait 10 years for a project to drop.
Okay, but kind of two different things. Because if this album didn't drop, if this album dropped in 2010, a year after Exhibit C,
right,
would it be a debut album? Because it still wouldn't be a debut album.
Well,
because I'm just saying, because with Ray, because everybody was featured on the Clan albums, but like when I look at Old Dirty's album, it's an Old Dirty album. Does people think that like that's an Old Dirty, and Meth was a Meth album? People were featured, and Jizza was a Jizza album, but only Built for Cuban Links. We did the show where it was like, and I forgot how people voted, But we asked, yo, was that a date? Was this a no? We didn't say was this a debut album. We said was this a Raekwon solo album,
Right?
Or was this a Ghost and Ray collab? And I forgot how everybody voted.
Everybody, it was majority voted that it was a Ray and Ghost collab album.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. But that's a good question. Do y'all think the Purple Tape, if we say that's a Ray debut, if you define it as that, then would this J-Elect be a debut then? Or is it like a big joke on the table because it took 10 years and it's what it was billed as? I can't remember shit no more, y'all. This Corona shit got me crazy.
I'm mad at Jay Electronica making fans wait 10 years and not even coming out with a debut.
No, I agree with you. I agree with you.
If you want to call this a debut, by all means. I mean, I don't care at all. And what I say is not going to differentiate whether it is or isn't.
Right.
But I cannot believe an artist would make fans wait 10 years.
Oh, no, I agree with you.
Like this, because there are tracks on that Jay Electronica joint that are like one half of a verse.
Yeah,
you would get from anybody else. Like, it seems lazy to me. It seems lazy.
Right. I'm just jumping in with some comments. Yeah. Frank was saying there was no real build up for Ray. Same thing with Snobby. It just dropped one day, talking about the Purple Tape.
Right.
And then we weren't mad at it. Right. Eddie's saying it's a collabo. Corey, same thing. Great point. You can't let Jay-Z set off your album. I agree with that 100%. Right, I actually thought the album should have started with what's the joint? The Blinding. Because at least it starts off with J-Elect, and he starts off with that. There was a cub out of Zion. Like, I'm like, that would have been a better way to start the album. But yeah, I agree. You cannot let another man, like Joe Budden said, set off your album.
And like and aside from that, he's the third person you hear. You hear Farrakhan first throughout the first track, and then you hear there's all this build up,
right?
And then you hear Jay, and it's like, well, wait a minute, is this a Jay album or is it a Jay Electronica album? You know what I mean? Like, that's one for me. Two, I just feel like there are some very lazy moments flow wise for me from Jay Electronica, and man, he's his pen is, of course, established, no question. Like,
for sure,
the things he writes about, things he talks about are very poignant and very important things, and particularly the Muslim culture as well. But if it doesn't sound good on record to me, I'm turned off. You know what I mean? Like, the flow for me is the flow has got to be. It can't sound lazy. Like, not only that, but aside from that, we talked about this the other day on the other show. When you are even when you're on a track with Jay-Z, I feel like there's a level that you have to step up to regardless, just out of respect for the craft in the game. You know what I mean? Like, just a level. Like, I'm not gonna put anything out. If Jay asked me to do a feature, or if I asked Jay to do a feature and his verse is better than mine, I'm not putting the record out until my verse is up to par. I'll rewrite my verse 20 times until it's up to par before I put it out. You know what I mean? Like, so that's why the whole rush thing comes into question, because I'm like, were we even expecting, like, did we even want this 10 years ago? Were people even thinking about Jay Electronica up until he decided he's going to post, oh, we're doing an album in 40 days? Like, nobody was even thinking about Jay Electronica until that point. So it's like, I'm just confused as to everything, the strategy of it, like the putting it out, even the execution of the songs on the album. Like, I just don't get it, honestly. So, but
Swan said she left a new Jay-Z album, not a Jay Electronica one, and that's a good point, because I really don't care if Jay Elect comes out with something after this. But now I am kind of excited. Like, I'm like, damn, Jay should get back in the studio, which is new for me, because after 444, I was like, dude can call it a day for all I care.
I honestly, maybe I'm gonna get crucified for saying this, but I think Jay's got it for a feature. As long as somebody's beside him doing it, I don't want a whole Jay album. I don't think he's got the stamina for that anymore. I don't. And you guys are, I mean, Yao's an MC, Ev's an MC. Like, you guys tell me, at this age, after this many albums and all of the projects Jay has going on, do you think he has the legitimate energy, stamina, enthusiasm, and drive to carry a good album? No, I think he's got it for some verses. I think he's got it for a featured, but not for a whole album.
I definitely think Jay can put out in his own album right now. One, because I feel like Jay probably has like easily like 200 songs in the tuck that he can pull from right now that are already recorded and ready to go.
Well, that's different. That's different. Recorded and ready to go is different from doing that fresh.
What I'm saying is this: like, there are always moments in Jay's career where he plucks a song from way back before his recording process, puts it on an album, right? So he can do that, and I'm sure that's probably what happened with this project right here. I'm sure some of these songs that he recorded with Jay Electronica are from back in the day. I know Shiny Suit Theory.
Yeah, I believe it.
Shiny Suit Theory is about 8 years old right now, so I feel like, you know, Jay can. I feel like Jay is always going to have the stamina because he's done albums in 11 days with no problem when he was in his prime. So if it's going to take him 3-4 months, that's not an issue for Jay. I feel like he's always his ability to put out music is always going to be at a high level because he's always done it at a high level.
Yeah, I mean, Ev, what do you give the album? Because I know.
Well, I mean, I just a couple of points I want to talk about. One, I didn't have any kind of rules involved with this project. Like, I don't care. It took him 10 years to put it out. Like, I wasn't. You know what I'm saying? This is like, you're an artist. You put it out when the fuck you're ready. That's up to you.
Fair.
But also too, I gotta like say, well, I heard a lot of people making the same comment, and my thing is, if you're not really Jay Electronica fans, you shouldn't be mad that it took them so long to put it out, because nobody should be really checking for him. So that's my personal take. I think that, you know, a lot of things, I don't have the rules. You know, the fact that Jay-Z set off the album, I don't think it's the first time that somebody did their own album, somebody else set it off. That part doesn't sway me one way or another either. It's about the actual project itself. And to be honest with you, when it comes to Jay Electronica and Jay-Z, it doesn't matter how good Jay Electronica is, he's not going to be, you know, they're two different types of MCs. Right. And Jay Electronica, because after that, I had the same thought. I went back and I listened to some of the old Jay Electronica stuff. And yeah, his ride was better. Yeah, he would hit the pockets a little bit harder.
That's important for me, Ev. That's important.
Yeah, but you know, I understand as an MC, I get that completely. I will say that with, you know, him at this point, because I don't think he actually spent 10 years on this album.
No,
I don't buy that shit.
No, I mean, I think it was the 40 days. I mean,
I think it might have been more than 40 days, because just listening to how things were put together, I give him more than that. I don't think it was no damn 10 years for sure. But I think that, you know, there's really not too many people as you come. I mean, you could come with your best A game. One, Jay-Z's not Jesus. So, right. I mean, let's just, okay, he has his good moments. He has his bad moments. This is one of Jay-Z's good moments. Can Jay Electronica really be toe-to-toe with Jay-Z at his highest point? No. But there's a lot of MCs that also can't do that too. So I can't actually hold that against him if I know within his style and his technique and his caliber of MC as his greatest level up against Jay-Z's greatest level, it's not going to be balanced. It's not going to be the same thing. So I got to look at that too when I actually, you know, look at Jay Electronica on this album. Don't get me wrong. There's some sloppy moments in there, for sure. There's some sloppy moments, but I feel like Jay Electronica has been doing that for a couple of singles now. And I think for him,
But when you say sloppy and because you're an MC,
I'm talking about the ride. I'm talking about like the way he's actually in the pocket and riding. But I think for him it was more important as far as what he was saying. And I'm not trying to give him any excuses. I think what he was trying to get out and the actual message he was trying to convey, he allowed himself to be kind of like, I'm just going to, you know, do this and do that. And I'm not making him no excuses. It's still a sloppy moment without question.
But see, I think, and
I'm not mad at that.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, I think for me, it's just, I'm shocked because you're such a technical MC. So it's like if a producer does something sloppy with the drums, and it's not a Dilla sloppy with the drums on purpose, I'm like, bro, what the fuck? Like, why are you being sloppy? Like, well, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, I was just gonna answer your question is, I expect that from Jay Electronica because I've heard him do that already. Jay Electronica, he's a weird.
I've never heard that. When I listen to Exhibit C, I hear an MC who is focused.
But the thing is, we can't just keep going back to Exhibit C when we talk about Jay Electronica. There's a whole bunch. There's a whole body work in between Exhibit C and just a written testimony.
I mean, so even all the features he had,
even the features, even the joints that you gave me, even going through those. If you listen to it, he's not always in pocket. But I think Jay Electronica has been that way for a very long time. So I'm not surprised that popped up in this project. It doesn't surprise me at all, actually, because I feel like I've already heard him do that. I feel like part of that is kind of his style. Jay Electronica, I would say he's an interesting kind of MC for me because he's the kind of MC like you have to ask yourself, why do I like this dude? There's something that he does that's off. Sometimes he does ABC shit, and then sometimes he says some other shit. You be like, oh, that was kind of nasty though. So for me, Jay Electronica, he can exist on both sides of the fence. Sometimes I feel like, you ain't put enough thought into that verse. And then sometimes I'll be like, oh, you really thought about that shit right there. So, but that's Jay Electronica. I have a weird kind of thing with his style and with his technique that I do, at the end of the day, I do like. I do appreciate.
Right. Vern, what were you going to say?
Can we put this out here now, not just for Jay Electronica, but for J. Cole, for fill in the blank? What pisses me off more than anything, and then insults my intelligence, is, hey, it's all right, it's cool. Well, his lyrics just went over your head. Nigga, we've been hearing 5% lyrics since I was 18 years old. So to tell me, oh, you don't think it's banging because you just don't understand it went over your head. I understood everything he said. So don't try to make disclaimers for why somebody doesn't just fall head over heels for your favor. That kind of it pisses me off when in hip hop when people or the fans of a certain artist use that as an excuse.
Yeah, that's nonsense. I mean, that's you're not saying I'm saying that, right?
No.
Oh, okay, yeah.
No.
Oh, yeah, no. I think that's nonsense. Yeah, because I don't
Yeah,
agree with that either. I think that's bullshit.
I mean, exactly. Insulting your intelligence, as if I haven't listened to rap for 20 some odd years. As if I'm not like I don't have enough brain power to understand the things that he's talking about. Like, bro, I listen to rap. I know words. Like,
I speak the English language.
It's like somebody told Kill on 444. Oh, half of that stuff went over your head. Pay your bills so you can have good credit. Be faithful to your wife. I mean, did he split
but
out?
You know what it is, Vern, that again, and it's the difference between the age groups, and the age group that, and it's weird that we're set up like this. Like me, Evan, Vern are all 45 plus. You know what I mean? In our era, and I don't know about Porsche and
She's 23. So
well, you can't do that.
I'm 23 for life.
There you go. I was about to say, Vern,
I'm 19.
Right.
I'm not that much younger.
Okay, yeah. So
personally, I'm not that much younger than you, and Vern. I'll just put it there.
Like Portia's age is like brute. I don't know who Batman is, so we just gonna leave it there. But what I'm saying is that I think the problem is that it's going over your head. It's the defense that some of the younger generation has in defending their rappers. Like I always say, when Big Daddy Kane came whack, we all said it was whack. Nobody in when Taste of Chocolate came out, I'm a junior in high school. Not one person was defending this album. Not one person jumped up and said, wait a second. No, maybe Kane did this and didn't Kane leave Marley and didn't. There were no excuses. It was whack. And then we said, you know what? We'll wait for the next Kane album. And we'll wait. And we'll give him a free slate again and we'll see if he comes back. The younger generation, these are their fucking heroes. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is like, Jay-Z is like Spider-Man to some of these motherfuckers. Like, this nigga done saved New York City 8 times and saved my grandmother from a burning building. And so the same way you would defend a superhero, like, you don't understand, Batman saved my life. That's how a lot of this younger generation look at these rappers. So when somebody says, I ain't feeling that new J. Cole, they go into defense mode. They go into, oh, well, then you don't understand lyrics. And you didn't understand the bars. And so to me, it's just a defense mechanism for a bunch of kids. No disrespect, y'all, but for a bunch of kids who these are their heroes. I work in the hood. There are no men in the hood for the most part. So Jay-Z is like somebody's pop. Okay, just keeping it 100 with y'all. Some of y'all Jay-Z stands out there. Jay-Z is like your pop. You know what I mean? So the same way you'd want to defend your dad and stand up for the Kilpatrick name or whatever your last name is, that's how motherfuckers do for their favorite rapper. So I think, Vern, that's why it becomes this, you're not smart enough to listen to J. Cole or his lyrics went over your head. Because that's the one thing I do. I love Twitter, but I hate it because it's Fantasy Island. You never know who you're talking to. You know what I mean? I was talking to somebody the other day and I said, think about it like this. There's somebody on Twitter who gets no response, gets no love. They changed their profile pic to Queensbridge. They say they grew up in Queensbridge with Nas, and they can make up all these fantasy stories about Havoc and Prodigy. And let me tell you this one story. Now they get all these followers. Now people want to ask their opinions. So we don't know who we talking to half the time. One of my rules is I'm not going back and forth with nobody whose fucking profile pic ain't your real picture. I'm not arguing with Bugs Bunny. Like, I'm just not. Like, if you can't even put up who you are, my nigga, I'm not even going to take the time. And on top of that, you could be 23. You could be a kid. One kid I was arguing with, he's like 25. I'm like, bro, I could be your father. Like, yo, if I had a kid in high school, dog, I could be your dad. The fuck do I look like arguing with Naomi about hip hop for?
Can I add something to what you're saying? Like, I agree wholeheartedly that, that whole going over your head thing, it's to me, it's always been nonsense. It's either going to hit you or it's not going to hit you. I do have to add, though, if there is a lot of like 5% Nation of Islam reference, which is like language stuff. And if you're not familiar with that references or the reference that he's making in there, you could miss some of those things. That's the only way I can say, some of that stuff you might miss if you don't know the culture, if you don't know what some of that terminology means.
That is heavy stuff for sure. Like understanding that is heavy, and it's not to downplay that at all.
But no, not at all. No, that's but I'm saying that's the only place that I can hear
and
a little bit of that.
Like, I literally had to go to that website Genius and pull up the bars because I was like, yo, in one of them songs, he's speaking another language. He's like rhyming in Spanish, I think. So I was literally like, okay. So, Vern, that is the one time I can say some stuff was going over my head because I was like, I don't know. When you said, like, if it comes from me and Hope, consider it Quran. If it comes from any of them, consider it. And I'm like, I don't know what that word is. So I'm like, let me go look that word up. So I can't say for some of this, it did go over my head.
I didn't even know
Chesimir. Rec One's in the building.
Yeah.
What's
going on, y'all? I didn't even know Chesimir was Asada Shakur until yesterday.
John Chesimir. Yeah, I knew that.
I didn't know that was her name. I was like,
that's a given name.
About? And I looked it up and I was like, oh shit.
Yep.
So I can't say this, that the electrolytes, they can say this may have went over your head, Kill, and I'd be like, you know what? You are absolutely right. That's why y'all know me. I'm gonna go on Genius and figure them out. Like, okay, that's what. And to be honest with you, it helped me. And we talked about this one time when we would do things like what's your favorite bars and stuff like that, because I've become so accustomed to just listening to rap. We don't get the liner notes no more with the words in it and things like that. But even with some of Jay's rhymes, like when he said the gift that keeps giving like babushka, I didn't know what babushka was. And then when I looked it up, and it's those little dials that keep opening, and I'm like, shit, the gift that keeps giving. I'm like, okay, Jay. So sometimes.
Go ahead, Kill. My bad.
No, I'm done. What are you gonna say?
That's the other thing, though, that for people like us, if I hear something that I don't know what it is, Google. Oh, okay, that's what that is, and now I know it. So it ain't like I'ma just not know what you're talking about if I don't know what you're talking about.
Right.
Yeah.
I agree. My man Corey said, talk about the beats. Where's the boom bap? Why is this album getting a pass? Corey isn't saying this. He just said, where's the boom bap? But I have heard from people, why is this album getting a pass? If Nas came out with these same beats, Nas would be the worst beat picker ever in the history of life. Why y'all give him a pass?
This conversation is like made for me, honestly.
Yeah. That's a fact.
And I agree. The thing I know for me, what I had to realize was looking at the bigger picture of the song. Like, I really look at Jay Elect as an artist. And what I mean by that, like, to me, a little bit of this album feels like if somebody made Andre 3000 make an album right now. That's what this album feels like a little bit to me. Like, if somebody, not like that, yeah, but what I'm saying is, what I mean by is, like, and somebody sent this to me, and Vern, you saw the link. It was, I forgot who it was from the Dungeon family. He was saying, look, Andre doesn't want to make an album because he wants to leave Backbone. He wants to leave at his highest point. So they sold X a million albums to come out with an album on Friday that's going to be forgotten about on Sunday. Andre doesn't want to do it. But I feel like maybe Jay-Z made him do this. Maybe because the contracts, like you said, Mr. Headline, who signed every contract, Mr. Deadline. Like, maybe Jay was like, nigga, you signed it. I've given you money, nigga, make an album, because I just don't feel like Jay Elect's heart. I don't feel like he was like, yo, I want to make this album, because I feel like he's too dope for that. It's like dragging somebody on the basketball court who really doesn't feel like playing, or when your wife drags you somewhere you really don't feel like going, and you're kind of just there just because. And I'm sure anybody who's married, wife has said, "Watch this with me, honey," and you like, okay.
Well, you
Oh,
think I'm
man.
shaking my head? You see me
Not
shaking my
strongly.
head?
Everything you asked me to watch,
I
Trina,
strongly
love.
disagree. I strongly
I
disagree.
love.
I strongly disagree with that statement. I strongly disagree. I
You
feel
get
like,
that-
I
Chill
don't feel
on
like,
the island
I
by
don't feel like,
himself.
I don't feel like it was. I mean, but you know, you gotta understand too. I'm coming from the perspective that I feel like this is a potential classic. So I'm coming from that frame of
Right.
thinking.
Right.
So
I know what you're
I feel
saying.
like I feel like the
I just feel like
timing.
I've heard Jay Elect come
I feel like
so much doper. So why wouldn't you? This is your debut album.
But this
Why wouldn't you-
is a lot of. I mean, I've also heard Jay Elect not say as much information that's basically that's centered around his belief system.
True.
He did a lot of that on his album. So I feel like the that part kind of like jumped in front of him wanting to do all the dope shit. Or whatever we feel like the dope shit is.
Right.
And I feel like the timing was pretty damn good. I feel like the timing is pretty damn good.
I mean, I feel like the timing is good because nobody's out right now. Like,
no, I'm
you
not.
know,
I'm talking about what's happening. I'm like what's
in the
happening in the
world?
world today. Yeah, I feel like the timing for this
But
type of
what is
album
he-
drop.
But what kind of album is it? Like when you're saying like
It's almost like a Black
Cool.
Revolutionary album. It's a borderline Black nationalist album.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't hear that. I mean, he says, you know, backed by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan about 458 times, but Chuck didn't have to say that. When I listen to It
Why
Takes
are
a
we comparing
Nation
him
or
to Chuck,
Fear,
though? Why we? Because I mean, that's
because
like
I'm-
comparing Chance.
No.
Oh,
What
good,
I'm
I'm
saying,
sorry.
you said that it's a Black revolutionary album,
That's what
and
it
I'm
sounds
going
like
to
to me.
and I'm
Yeah.
going for what when I think of Black Revolution, I think of Chuck. So if you tell me that this album is like the party album of the year, then my brain is going to reference what's the last party album that I could think of that somebody could say. So I mean, I don't feel like from listening to this album, I haven't stopped listening to it. I don't feel like any more Black empowerment. I don't feel like, man, fuck the white man and we got to go out here and take it back. I don't get.
Yeah,
but-
it's not
but
that.
I'm just-
Go ahead,
But
I'm
what
sorry.
do
Go
you
ahead.
hear? What do you hear outside of him saying the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan 442 times? What makes this pro-Black revolutionary? Like, what is it speaking? What is it saying to you? Like,
I think
after
all the
you
way
listen
through.
to this-
I think they're both saying that, not just Jay Elect. I think Jay-Z has a couple of references in there too as well. I feel like from Universal Soldier goes to Soldier Slim, the Never Ending Story. When you go down to even the API DTA, I don't even know what those acronyms stand for.
all praises due.
All praise due
to Allah.
to Allah. Okay.
I mean, I
That
love that
one-
song because he's talking about death, but that doesn't have
Fruits of
anything
the-
to do
fruits
with
of the spirit.
revolutionary.
But that's the question of what you consider revolutionary. So we
But
can't
that's
compare.
what I'm asking you. But
But
that's
that's
what
what
I'm
I'm
asking you for you.
Well,
What is
I would have to go through and quote the actual verses
Okay.
for to actually to answer your question correct, full fledged. But I feel like in the actual verses itself, from the intro to the outro, I feel like it's definitely something that's the timing of it is pretty dead on. But I feel like it's all the way through. It's not just Jay Elect that's writing that. I feel like Jay-Z is also writing that. But I'm also, to get to your point about Public Enemy from this album, you're talking at least 30 years ago. That's a different climate. That's a different time period. That's a different, and as far as I know, Chuck D is not necessarily a member of the Nation of Islam, whereas Jay Electronica is. So he's going to talk from a different perspective than maybe a Chuck D would.
Right.
So I think all that is relevant.
Right. And I mean, I think, I think just for me, like when I think, and again, we all have different definitions for the same word. When I think revolutionary, when I heard Chuck, it made me think different. It made me move different. From listening to this album for the past 7 days, I don't feel like I'm moving any different. Like I'm not, like Chuck made me want to check myself and be like, I'm not feeling that from Jay Elect. Like, and you're right, Jay-Z said some stuff, they want to be us, we just got to see us. I totally get that, but I guess for me, it just doesn't fall in line. Like when I think what's going on in the world right now, I just don't line up like that. But that's just me.
I feel like I was just going to say on Ev's point is I feel like with It Takes a Nation, it's more of a socially empowering, like socioeconomically empowering album, whereas this one is a little bit more spiritually empowering, if that makes sense. And the reason for that is because it's so heavily rooted in the Nation of Islam. And the Nation of Islam is a very, very empowering entire thing on its own, but in a very different way. So rather than, I mean, this Jay Electronica album kind of speaks to the Malcolm X side of things a little bit. If that makes sense, like, do you guys get what I'm saying there? Like,
Sean just chimed in and he said this is more of a 5% album than a Black Revolution album, and I think that's how I feel.
Yeah,
that's how I feel. It's a more 5% album.
Yes.
Black
Nation is one of those ones where anyone who's like, you feel empowered no matter who you are when you really immerse yourself in that film. I mean, in that album. And the reason for that is because it is socially empowering, like you said, Kill. Like, it makes you check yourself. Like, what am I doing? How am I responding? How am I viewing? Whereas this one is just a little bit more spiritual in nature, if that makes sense. Yeah, 5%.
But real quick, back to the beats. Are we giving Jay Elect a pass on the beats?
I'm not.
No,
Right?
But it's funny enough though. The beats that I like a lot are the ones he did, except for that Ezekiel joint. Nah,
that's actually a big part of my reason why I don't like the album either, because I'm like, yo, you made these beats and you don't sound great on these beats.
Right.
Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? If you're a rapper, I always felt like if you're a rapper, and I know this, J. Cole's beats aren't great, but he knows how to sound on his beats. You know what I mean? That I'll give him. I'm confused with some of the rhyme patterns, like some of the pockets he was in. I was just like, yo, what? Like, how did you? I just
right. Time out on the play. We're gonna come back to the beats. You and Ev, y'all being the MCs, and this is why I always tell people out there, you want to surround yourself with smarter people than you. You both of you guys have said the pockets. Now I understand what you're saying, but for people out there who don't understand the pocket, who may not want to say, yo, what is the pocket? Can y'all give a slight definition of what that means? Maybe even give an example of a song that you like or where you're like an MC is in the pocket or the MC is out of pocket. Ev, y'all, either one.
Well, y'all was talking. I was gonna let him finish his bill.
I mean, so pocket is like just every beat has like a stretch of just time, right? And there's also little things within the beat. There's a snare drum. There's certain things. So there's no real definition of it for me. It's just like just staying within that pocket and just sounding good when the beat breaks and when your voice breaks. To me, that's the pocket. You know what I mean? Or like, so what's the song? Marcy Me, Jay-Z, Marcy Me. That's a pocket song. That's when he's hitting pockets and flows in between the rhyme scheme or in between the music stretch that are rhythmic and just like sound good.
He's like the rhyme pattern.
He's just like boom, 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 boom. He's hitting it. He's hitting the drum. Like sometimes you do things. Sometimes like rappers will be like rapping to like syllable for syllable with the drum. That's pocket too. You know what I mean? That's like it's all encompassing within the same bar stretch of music. That's pocket.
All right, and what about you, Ev? Is that the same? Because I know every MC is different. So
I think I feel like y'all hit it right on the head. For me, the pocket is it's part of that groove. I would say as a reference, you can listen to the majority of like Andre 3000. He's beautiful in the pockets. He's beautiful in the pockets. So just the way that he sits inside of that, because I mean, the beat itself is just like it's the boat, and you still got to ride inside that. You got to ride the fucking waves and shit. So I feel like when we talk about the pockets, it's really like it's the thing that gets your ear and make you be like, ew.
Exactly.
Ew, killing that.
Exactly.
And pocket runs in unison with breath control.
Breath control.
Because and on this album, Jay Electronica, its breath control is okay, which is another reason why I'm like, oh, that's why you are not really in it, because your breath control is kind of all over the place.
So like a person who I listen to for flow and pocket is like Elzai, always just nailing the pocket. Always, he never sounds offbeat ever.
Would y'all guys say that when 3 Stacks on that Anderson .Paak song, "Come Home"?
Killing it. So for me, what's the song he had with Chris Brown? So for me,
check it out, Ev. It's stupid.
For Stacks, I would say for his best pocket song for me, one of them is "I Can't Wait." That verse he had on Stevie Brown.
Yo, that and the T.I. shit. That T.I. shit.
Yeah. Pockets.
Yeah, it's pockets. It's pocket games.
Like, and that's the thing about Stacks for me. Like that's why nobody can ever say a bad thing about it. He literally does every single thing in rap
Yes, he does.
at a high level. You know what I mean? There's
Indeed.
nothing he can't do at a high level. So
All right, cool, no doubt. All right, so back to the beats.
I see you, Vern.
back to the beats. Back to the beats. Are we giving them a pass? For me, I just felt like these are like J Electronica beats type thing. You know what I mean? And I felt like they were good songs. I gave this example. I got a homeboy. He dresses different than I do. And if I wore one of his outfits, y'all would be looking at me like, yo, what the fuck is Kill wearing today? You know, but when he wears it, he pulls it off. He bags chicks. Everything is good. That's how I feel about beats. You know, so I felt like these beats were good for J Electronica. Was I disappointed? Yes. I was disappointed at first because I was wanting some boom bap. I wanted the Exhibit C. I wanted the Exhibit A. I wanted those Just Blaze beats. You know what I mean? So was I disappointed? Yes, I was disappointed. But then after I kind of got past me being a producer, I've learned how to have to listen to music differently because me and Yao were going back and forth about the Meek album when it dropped because I was just like, yo, this is whack. He just jacked Jay. He just jacked Big for What's Beef. He just jacked Mobb Deep for Getaway. This ain't good music. Now, recently, I listened to the Meek Mill's album and I'm like, but these are good songs. You know what I mean? But the producer in me was just like, it's like a cardinal sin. Like, how are y'all doing this? And like, I was mad when Meek dropped, and people were shocked. Like, "Kill, this your man? He from Philly." I'm like, "What the fuck? Where he from?" Like, this dude just jacking for beat. He doing the Ice Cube. He just grabbing everybody beat, and y'all are accepting it. Like, where does that come from? Which I want to go into this. Somebody said today. Somebody had posted, "Kill, who has a better mixtape tape series than West Side Gun, Hitler's Wear Hermes?" And you know, we talked about something, and somebody said, but ain't nobody fucking with Mixtape Wheezy. And I said, well, look, here's the problem with Mixtape Wheezy. I just know Lil Wayne from Bling Bling. You know what I mean? So, and I gave the example. Lil Wayne for me is like if one of them little crisscross niggas just one day became the best rapper on the planet. Nigga, all I do is remember you as jump, jump. That's all I remember you as. So I never, and see for me, Yao, and maybe Yao and younger, never really remembered the Bling Bling when he was a little kid. So I remember
I saw the whole come up. So I saw his whole, yeah.
But here's my question, because we're talking about people writing their rhymes. How can, and this is great, Ev, I want to get you in on this, you being an MC, because I'm still shocked that you don't have a problem with ghostwriting. How can we say somebody is the GOAT?
I was really gonna say something, and then I'm just not gonna say anything.
What'd you say? I didn't hear the first part.
Listen,
I was saying, how can we call somebody the GOAT? I know a lot of people who say Weezy is a top 5 rapper, dead or alive. Who? And I'm just like, Weezy,
Lil Wayne.
And I'm just like, how do we give this to somebody who we know had a ghostwriter?
So okay, so here's what I'm gonna say about that. First of all, I know you say I don't have an issue with it. I don't have as much of an issue as most people do. All right, that's so. Let me. I wanted to make that caveat before I went to my little spiel. As far as Lil Wayne goes, for whatever reason, people just forgot about that, and there was never any real like concrete proof of it. I suspected it honestly because I listened to rap and I was like, all of a sudden, Lil Wayne was sounding like a Philly dude.
He was sounding totally different.
He sounded like a Philly nigga. He sounded like he was saying John and Ball. And I was like, all right. Okay. Like and then to come to find out that Gilly was in his camp writing for Baby, which leads me to believe that he may have been writing for Lil Wayne. At the very least, influencing whatever style he decided to come up with. You know what I mean? Because it wasn't the same New Orleans bounce that it wasn't bling bling. It wasn't all that. You know what I mean? It was more, he was rapping like an East Coast dude. So I'm not sure why we gave Lil Wayne the pass, but what I will say is this, and I'm not sure if he had writers since that Gilly era. There was a stretch where Lil Wayne was the best rapper alive. There was a small stretch for about a year and a half where Lil Wayne was the best rapper, bar wise, like songs. He was killing. So I'll give him that, but. People forgot about the shit with Gilly, and I want to say it was like 06 or whatever.
But you know what happens, y'all? I don't know if people forgot. I just think that, and again, this is no disrespect to the younger folk and the 35 and under crowd. I just think y'all were raised on different morals than what we were raised on, because we wouldn't have forgotten. You know what I mean? When you had pictures of Baby and Lil Wayne kissing each other, I remember niggas copping pleas like, "Oh, he's kissing his dad," and I'm like, "That's not his dad. Like, let's stop this. That's not his dad. I got it, man, and I don't kiss my dad." It was the amount of excuses people give. They're like, "Oh, come on, Kel, man, you work with kids in the hood. The father kissing his dad. Like, no, that's not his dad."
The Boondocks even made a joke about it.
Right, here's the thing. I don't care if Eric B kissed Rakim. No, our generation is never forgetting that. We will be on at 85 years old and the damn old folks. So I'm talking about goddamn Ev. You remember that time that boy Rakim kissed Eric B on the lips? Are you crazy? Like we would never forget. So I just think that y'all, not again, when I say y'all, I don't mean all of you. I'm just saying the younger generation. I just don't think y'all really care. Like, you know, because I know when Gilly threw down that car, like, I'm writing for Wayne, he really thought that was the big joker. He really thought he was going to end his career. And it was like, yeah, what up? Rick Ross, this nigga lied, said, I'm not a CEO, then found out he was a CEO, and he was like, fuck it, I was a CEO. And nobody cared. Like, that you couldn't do that in our generation. You couldn't do that.
That Rick Ross situation was the test case for forgiveness in hip hop. It definitely was. Because I thought he was going to be finished. I was like, this is never going to allow this guy to do anything.
Man,
literally locked up being a cop. Like that's two violations. Like two.
Right. Two.
And he's one of the biggest rappers of all time.
That's why I believe there ain't no Jedi code in hip hop. There's so many fraudulent cats, you know. So I mean, the Easter Bunny ain't real, y'all. You know,
correct.
So just let it go and like the music or not like the music. Because if you it ain't kill, it ain't what we grew up on. And I'm all right with that. That's why I'm like, yeah, if it's a good song, man, I ain't tripping about all the other stuff because there's too many people that got helpers and ghostwriters and this and that, and to even try to hold it to that same standard.
And not only that,
know what, if I can,
go, you got it.
If I can just add on to that, piggyback off that point, I think, you know, time frame changes things.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, you know, I'm from a time where, but I have a set of rules that another MC may not necessarily have. Like, yeah, you got to write your own shit. If you're freestyling, it should be off the dome. It shouldn't be anything that's written or premeditated, or whatever the case may be. But what I realized is, you go in different regions, there's different codes, there's different rules that everybody has. And as time goes on, as much as, and I shouldn't say as much, because I don't feel like, number one, there was a hard push as far as what the rules of MCing was, because I feel like the rules are always changing. So, you know, as time goes on, the rules change for each individual person. So one person may not be like, oh, ghostwriting, no, it's not a problem. Somebody else may be like, oh man, fuck that, he ghostwriting. But that changes with, you know, you got to remember too, hip hop is a culture, and culture changes with time. So it's going to keep evolving and changing into something else. And sometimes it's not hip hop. Sometimes it's just rap shit. Sometimes it's just like, this is what's happening in the rap world today. So
see, I agree with you wholeheartedly. And I think what Yao said on the episode we did about what's a freestyle after Black Thought, and Yao brought up the point of there came a time where MCs were getting deals from freestyling on the radio. So if this is your chance to get a deal, I can't leave it up to me coming off the top anymore. So it was like, I have to come with something written because this is now my opportunity to get a record deal. So I can't. So I think most MCs knew what it was, but I think Yao made that great point of it pivoted when it became, because back in the day, you just went up to Stretch and Bobbito after you had a deal. Yeah. And it was like, hey, just kick a freestyle. And it was like all fun and games. It wasn't like nobody was holding you to a certain level of, Common messed up a word or Thought messed up a word. But if you're telling me this is my opportunity to get my family out the hood, then I totally understand where it's like, okay, I got to come with something written because Jay is listening, Swiss is listening. You know, these executives are now signing people based off of it. So I think the culture, I think rap shifts when money gets involved, because at the end of the day, that's why I'm not freestyling, because I need a record deal. Why do I need a record deal? Because I need money. So the industry is, to me, what shifts everything. And it's always done that from the beginning of time. Like, yeah, great conversation. I was always wondering, Cool G Rap's first album, he didn't curse at all. Cool G's second album, the nigga is cursing like, you know, Richard Pryor on crack. And I think, Ev, you said it. You were wondering if G-Rap always wanted to curse, and the label was like, nah. And correct me if I'm wrong. And I was on the other side wondering, did G-Rap really want to curse? and then after NWA, were record labels pushing everybody to curse more? Because to me, that's such a.
I'm being completely honest. I have no recollection of this conversation.
that was like
no. But I'm with you. I know we talked about Rakim. I know we had a deep conversation about Rakim.
I think what you were saying was we were just trying to figure out why all of a sudden did G-Rap start cursing. Like it's very if I've done 50 shows of Apartment 5B and you have never heard Kill curse, and then the next episode I come out here like Eddie Murphy Raw, y'all probably gonna be like, yo, is Kill and T.I.? Like what's going on with Kill? Like this dude, and that's literally G-Rap had no curses on the first album. Second album, nothing but curses. Talk Like Sex, one of the most nastiest songs ever in the history of hip hop. You know. And it's kind of like, to me, that's the record. To me, it was the record label saying, wow, you see these NWA dudes over here selling all these records, cursing and F.A.B. and, you know, all of this. Go do that. And, you know, so I feel like that. I feel like the industry I feel like kind of is like whatever, how you steer a boat. But I feel like the industry a lot of times dictates how people move. You know what I mean? Because it all comes down to a record deal. Like, I mean, I mean, at the end of the day, and Ev, I know you're like a semi-retired MC, but yeah, do you want a record deal? Like, would you? You're not. I mean, no, I didn't mean to offend you like semi-retired, but I mean, you're not like dropping albums. Like, you're not like
no.
Like,
I'm doing lyricist study.
Right
at this
like,
point.
Right.
Yeah,
like, you're like the curriculum. You're the professor now. So that's what I meant by. No disrespect, good brother.
It's okay. I'm fucking with you.
Know, but I mean, but like, I was putting out albums. But would you want a record deal, or would you want to continually do it the independent route?
At least for me, independent works for me because there's the pressure is not on me I could put the music out when I want. You know what I mean? I'm at the age right now where I'd rather just have my shit sound good as putting out just mad shit. You know what I mean? Like, so. Record deal, if it was to come and it was like an undeniable deal where they would help me get like a real deal and I can keep like a lot of the shit that if I can negotiate the terms, which is probably not the case, will never be the case with a guy coming in. But I'm not. I like the independent shit I'm doing. It just gives me more control. So no, particularly at this age.
And I think independent, you know, if you're able to do that, because independent also means like, you know, you have to compromise, you know, some of that income base, whatever the case may be. But I think, you know, when it's independent, you do have a lot more freedom to do and say what you want to say and how you want to say it. And I think but any art form is that once a lot of money gets involved, and when money gets involved and power gets involved, and if you ain't got the power, then you wind up somewhat compromising your form. And anytime you compromise your form, it's never going to be 100% you or 100, or at that point it's still art, but it's questionable because it's not your own interpretation. It's somebody else's involved that actually has the money. So I think, you know, that's always an issue, but you know, yeah, that's it in a nutshell. MC shit, rhyme shit.
So we were talking about being in the pocket, and somebody sent me the track list in the Lulu, which is Alchemist and Conway's new album that's coming out next week. And I was excited. I was like, yeah, this looks great. And then somebody got at me and it was like, but Kill is featuring Cormega. And I was like, oh God, I did not even see that coming. I didn't even see it coming. I literally just looked at the amount of songs. I saw 7. I said yes, because I thought we was only gonna get like 4 or 5. So I said 7. And then so it started a whole Cormega talk. And I'm trying to look for my man. Porsche, do you remember what he said?
Yes. Slack Homie said Cormega sounds like a church lady reading the Bible without her glasses.
Yeah, Mega raps like a grandma reading a Bible passage.
There it
is.
Dang. Well, he might be. You never know. He may ask me.
That literally may be the funniest thing I've ever read on Twitter. A grandmother reading a Bible passage.
I am gonna block the shit out of Slack Homie for this.
That right there. I've been on Twitter 11 years. And that may be the funniest thing. I gotta screenshot this tweet because this literally may be the funniest tweet I've ever heard. But Porsche, I know,
He still got me blocked.
Yeah, because Megan Yao went back and forth.
I had a little Twitter beef with Cormega a year and a half.
Who was y'all beefing about?
I had said that Nas's new album didn't sound good. He sounded like
right.
one of his flunkies came on there and it was like, yo, Cormega and tagged him, and Cormega was talking all the shit about me being.
First of all, y'all, let's start with that. This is what I hate about these Twitter snitches in these streets. If me and you are having a conversation, there is no need to go tag the big brother. Like, you got to go get your big brother. Like, if me and Yao are talking about Jay-Z, there's no reason for Yao to then go tag Jay-Z. Like, y'all
unless it's like something good and appreciative and dope.
Right, but
it's almost the funny thing about that is it's almost like, oh, I'm not gonna say it because they on here. Like,
right,
shit, I'm gonna say it anyway.
Right. I said what I said.
They can search their name and clearly see what I just said about them. Like, both of them, Nas and Cormega. So it's not like I'm trying to like hide this shit. So he tagged him. Here come Cormega, like, yo, you know what? I've been in this game, so on and so forth. I got accolades galore. I'll never tell a little independent rapper like you, so on and so forth. I got the screenshot somewhere because I can't pull the feed because he blocked me. And I was like, yo, bro, I clearly said, hey, you're accomplished, but I just don't like your flow. And I just don't. I told him straight up. He said something else. I forgot what it was after that, and then he blocked me. So, you know.
Man. Rappers, hip hoppers are like middle school girls, man.
Bro, it's crazy.
Everybody ain't gonna like Pepsi. Some people gonna like Coke.
Yeah, like listen, I've dealt with it firsthand. Like I had a season when I was on ESPN where I was getting dogged. I mean, they're like, yo, who is this fuck dude trying to be like in this bullshit ass suit? I was like, damn, y'all killing me online. So you gotta eat that. That's part of the game. You know what I mean? That's part of what it is. Everybody's not gonna like your shit. But there, like I said, there was one year where it was particularly difficult, and I was like, yo, people do not like this season at all. Like, you know what I mean?
The wild part that, and Porsche, I want to let you defend Mega, but I think the thing is for me is that I don't get like you said, you're accomplished, you got accolades. I just don't like your flow. I don't understand, and I've always said this about some MCs, not all MCs, just some, are the most sensitive motherfuckers in the planet.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I can send you 100 beats and you pick 2. Essentially, you're saying you don't like 98 beats, okay? And I just got to take that on the chin. But God forbid if I say, yo, can you do a third verse over it? Just then, nah, son, you defiling the art, son. That's my culture. It's my culture and my pen, son. Like, dog, like all I said was change a word or move something over or rewrite the third verse because it wasn't as good as the first and second. But dog, if somebody doesn't like your flow, great example, Trey Lee, y'all know, good friend. Trey was working on his album. I sent him some beats. He was like, "Yo, man, I like that 100 BPMs and over. I'm a fast rapper. You be sending me that 89, 90 shit." And I'm like, I don't really make stuff like that. And so we don't connect on that tip. But I'm not mad. I'm not like, yo, Trey, that's fucked up. You ain't fucking with. No, Trey likes a certain style of beat. And it's a style of beat that I don't make. So if somebody says, yo, Kel, I really don't rock with your beats like that because because your tempos, I like more up tempo, why would I be offended by that? Like, that's a fact. Like, that's not an opinion. Like, that's why I'm always like, I'm not going to argue your opinion. So if Yao or somebody doesn't like the flow, or people even today are like, oh, I like Cormega. And I'm like, yo, I just don't like his flow. That's all it is. And people are like, well, did you hear this? Did you hear that? I said, look, bro, I don't like tomatoes. I don't like tomatoes on a turkey sub. I don't like a tomato on a cheeseburger. I don't like tomatoes in my salad. It don't matter when I put a tomato on, I'm not gonna like it. You know,
I would not like it in a car. I would not like it in a jar.
Like, it don't matter when I put the tomato on, I'm not gonna like the tomato. I don't care who. Did you hear Mega over large professor? I don't. It doesn't matter.
But you know what? To your point too. I feel like when you're doing projects with people, the people in the room, the people that you're working with, they should be able to tell you if it's not enough. Correct. And you should be able to take that and go back and do something better. I think if we did, we would have a lot better albums that we've had in the last God knows how many years. I mean, I'm not gonna say nothing about Tribe. I'm just gonna keep moving. But
oh my God.
I just feel like, if you in a room, if you collaborating with somebody, number one, everybody not gonna like you. That's just what it is. Like, what the fuck? Everybody's not gonna like you. If you out looking for that, you are looking for a unicorn. And when you find one, let me know. Right. Other than that, you just got to be able to take it on the chin, go back, come back better, And that's what it is. Or just
Well,
to deal with the fact that okay, they don't like me, and that's good. I don't have to. I ain't got to appeal to everybody.
Everything isn't slander. If somebody says,
Yeah.
Kill, I don't like your beats because you don't make fast beats, I'm not gonna be like, oh, this motherfucker on Twitter slandering me. No, it's the same thing with movies. People sent one of my homeboys sent me a script. And it was like a love movie, not like no Love Jones, but like The Notebook, like that old, my wife is dead, and I'm gonna bring her back, or I'm gonna read to her every day so she remember who I am. Like, and I was just like, bro, I don't like those movies, so I'm the wrong person to read this script because I'm gonna tell you it sucks, and you literally may have an Oscar award winning on you. We all don't like the same thing. Right. So in Mega's case, there's really nothing that Mega can do. I don't think Mega wants to go back and work on his flow. I think Mega would be like, my flow has worked perfect for me 30 years. My only beef is there's no reason to block nobody or go back and forth about it if it's just like, I don't like your flow. Like, if you don't like Guru's voice, that's cool. Like, and yeah, I didn't mean to say Guru. I didn't mean it. We could say somebody else. If you don't like Jiz's voice, if you don't like Jiz's voice, then that's just it. There's nothing that Jiz can do to change that. Like, it's not like Jiz can be like, all right, yeah, I don't like my voice. Okay, for this next Jiz album, I got to work on my inflections a little bit more. Certain things you're not gonna like. Porsche, tell us about Cormega.
Well, no, there's nothing. My question was going to be, what don't you guys like about Cormega? Because Cormega is a very, very, very consistent rapper. And that is like, his albums are consistent. They're not stellar albums, but they're not trash albums by any means. And he kind of floats along at a good level. And that's more than I can say for a lot of rappers. The Realness was a dope joint. Even Mega Philosophy. I love that album. And he dropped that in 2014, 2015 or something. But if you don't like his flow, you don't like his flow. It's very AZ-ish. It's very
I can't. Whoa. I can't go
in. No, but it is. It is.
But AZ is
AZ be in them pockets, bro. AZ be in them pockets.
AZ got paid.
He said AZ be in them pockets like a stick-up kid.
He's from Brooklyn. He is from Brooklyn.
AZ is one of my favorites. I love Cormega. If I had to rank them, I'm gonna put Cormega below AZ. Like, I want to be clear, but Cormega is consistently good, and his albums are consistent all the way through. He doesn't have, if you listen to The Realness, if you listen to Mega Philosophy, there are not joints where you're going to say, damn, that was like trash. And then there were some really, really good joints. We've said that about a lot of albums.
Hey, you do analogy, Kill.
Which one? Vern, I'm like Jesus. I got not Jesus like that. But I always got
more like Jesus. Damn.
Jesus in this all praises due. All praises due.
No, I meant about how Jesus is always using a.
I'm like Jesus, right? Understand that, right?
No, I meant like always the analogy, not like I'm like Jesus, but I'm on what analogy, Vern? Because I got a million of them.
You said, if a dude get with a chick, and then afterwards he was like, "Yo, how was I?"
Oh, right. Oh, that analogy. Because people will get at me and be like, yo, that was a good album. And I'm like, it was okay, or it wasn't that bad. Somebody told me something like, yeah, the album wasn't that bad. And I said, bro, if you just got finished having sex with a woman and you ask her, how was I? And she says, you weren't that bad. Are you really coming out of there feeling puffed up? So please don't try to sell me on it's not that bad. Porsche, that's not at you. That was for somebody else.
No, I know.
But what I'm saying with Mega's, I don't think he's trash. I don't think Mega's albums are trash. They're not for me.
Right.
It's kind of like
that's why I said Mega doesn't even need defending, because if you guys don't like his flow, you just don't like his flow. That's right. Like, I'm going to have to bring up Drake. I'm sorry, I can't stand the guy. He sounds like he whines and cries on every single album. I don't know how someone can listen to this for longer than 1 minute. I don't know how dudes can listen to this for longer than 1 minute.
I like Drake.
You guys complain about women complaining about their friggin' emotions for this long. Like, come on,
hey, man, listen, y'all.
I get it. Like,
if Portia is on your side, you got an advocate.
Some people will fight for how dope Drake is for days. They will go to war over that. I like, when I tell you, it feels like someone is taking like a jackhammer to my brain. It's an understatement when I hear Drake's voice and see his face.
Yeah. Just wait a second. Because I think what it is, somebody told me.
So I can't defend, like, and Yao
Right, there's not to defend.
But Drake is so witty. He says things that you wish you could say, that you didn't think you could say, but you know you could have said, but you just didn't have the brain power to say it. And I'm sitting here going, Yao, listen, okay, if you read a woman, if you read a teenager's diary, they've said all that. They've said all that.
Here's the thing. And Porsche, I agree with you. You can't defend him. My man hit me the other day. He was like, yo, Kill, defend your man West Side Gun. Sell me on him. And I said, I can't. Like, if you don't like the voice, you're not going to like West Side. That's just what it is. So when people say...
I'm happy hearing that you don't think Mega's albums are trash. Because they're not trash. They're not
from what I heard, he's an incredible beat picker. You know what I mean?
He's not like a village as producers, though. Like, but he does a fantastic job of keeping it cohesive, and the sequencing is great. So,
and just because we're live over here, I gotta try and keep up with this. For all the people tuning in, I'm sorry I suck at this. This is the first time I'm doing this. People want to know about this tribe slander. So, what's up?
All right, let's get into it. Let's.
Get the shows in his neck ready.
They want to know what's up with the tribe slander.
Unfortunately, I can't give you track names because I don't listen to the album because I don't like it. But it starts pretty much with the first song, and at the chorus,
the last album.
That's the thing is, just so y'all clear, I am a Tribe fan. I fucking love Tribe. I hate the last album. I think it's trash. Straight up, I think it's trash. I don't know how it got what it got to, but whatever. People like it. They like it. I don't. That first song, when it gets to the chorus, and how does it? It's like I had to block it out of my mind because it irritates me so fucking much. What is
that? You must go.
So you did all that. You get to that chorus, and that was your chorus, and nobody in the room was like, "Tip, maybe not that. Maybe not that one. Maybe let somebody else do the chorus. Maybe do something different for the chorus." I don't know. I don't know what it was, but that was the beginning of the downfall for me for the rest of the album. I tried to get through it. I have a hard time getting through that album. I did make it one time because I wanted to be able to just to absorb it, to say, actually, I listened to the whole thing. I made it one time. I tried to do it 2 or 3 times. I couldn't do it. Don't like the album. Don't know what happened. I don't want another one. I'm cool. I'm good. Don't want no more.
All right, here's the thing, you know, and again, this goes back to expectations. And I just feel like at this point, I wasn't expecting anything great from this album. I'm not saying you were, but I know a lot of people probably were.
No, it wasn't either.
I equate this to the 5 heartbeats. If y'all remember at the end when Duck and all them done had kids and they trying to sing, they can't sing no more. Like, so you can't. Another great example, the last Jodeci album that came out. I love that album.
Yeah,
I love it though. I love it. But people were like, yo, where's the Come and Talk to Me? I'm like, bro, that was 30 years ago. There ain't gonna be no Come and Talk to Me. There ain't gonna be no Bonita Applebum on this joint. There ain't gonna be no Can I Kick It? And we're lower in the bar. But I mean, they're old. They're old. I mean, yeah, but
just saying, man. So what you're saying is it's not that bad.
Well,
I mean, but here's the wild part. But I like it. I think I gave this 4 mics. Like I said, I like the last Jodeci album. People killed that album. But I'm like, people like, can you hear KC's voice? The nigga been on crack for 30 years. What do you expect from a nigga who been on crack singing? Like, did you really think you were gonna get 19-year-old forever come and talk to me, KC? No, this nigga walked into an arena on a nigga's shoulders. Okay, JoJo fell out on stage.
Chicken bones.
JoJo fell out and KC kept singing. I'm not expecting that from these niggas. I'm happy they can hold the note, and I was happy with the notes that they held. That it was good, but again, Tip is, you know, I enjoy the album. I listen to the album from time to time. I know we're low in the bar. I'm just
boring, man. I hear a lot of excuses. I just hear a lot of excuses. I didn't do it. It's not that bad. All right, that's cool.
That's cool. Exactly Jay-Z with 444. It's not the same Jay-Z. He's older. He's coming out with a whole different format of album. I mean, the songs are shorter, the whole album's shorter, the beats are different, his flow is completely different. He doesn't have the same energy. It's the same thing, but I mean, we pick and choose who we give a pass to, right? Like
Jason don't get a pass.
But for me, this isn't a pass. Like, I, honest to God, and y'all know me because y'all still clown me to this day. I like Chance's album, and it's just me and Chance's son. I don't even know if Chance likes the album. It's me and Chance.
His wife loved it. His wife loved it.
His wife. Like me, Chance's wife, and Chance's son are the only people walking the planet Earth who like that Last Chance album. I'm not giving this a pass. I like the album. Like, okay. but again, it's just my expectations. I'm not coming into it like, well, where's the anthem? Like with Compton, a lot of people didn't like Dre's Compton because everybody's like, well, where's the new Snoop? Like Dre is always introducing us to that next MC. Where is he? And I'm like, it's really Anderson .Paak. That's who Dre introduced y'all to because I didn't know Anderson .Paak before Compton.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? But so yeah, it's like what you really what you go into it. I didn't expect no Can I Kick It, Award Tour, I didn't expect any of that for this album.
No, me either.
But
I wasn't crazy about Love Movement either. Love Movement just okay.
Yeah, fair.
I wouldn't even give Love Movement okay.
But I always go back to
I like it better than that one though. I like it better than the last one.
I think we always have to go back to when Evan and yeah, this is another good conversation for MCs. I've always believed it's how you record music. So the second after Midnight Marauders, that's when Phife moved to Atlanta. That's when Tip started doing outside production. Ali started being an A&R for Quest Records. And I felt like when you do that, the next album isn't going to be as good, which was Beats, Rhymes, and Life. Because, Phife, you could live in Atlanta, but bro, when it's time to record, let's all come back together. And I think that's one of the things that most people struggle with. For Life After Death, Puffy got everybody and they was like, yo, we going to Jamaica to record the album. So that way there's no interruptions. There's nobody leaving the studio, nobody getting a page from their baby mother. With Kanye's My Dark Twisted Fantasy, went to, I think, Jamaica. That Kanye had a schedule like Hawaii. Like, yeah, we play ball, we eat. Then from 7 to 7, all we do is record. You know what I mean? Nobody's on Twitter. Like that, there has to be a focus to make good music. I just felt like after Midnight Marauders, that focus was gone. You know what I mean? And I think people like Kanye and RZA and Puff, they've learned from that. Like, I remember RZA saying that they did on Wu-Tang Forever in LA because they was like, yo, I'm not getting the same energy that we got from 36 Chambers. Like, back in the day, yo, if F finished his rhyme, we all stayed to help. Now for Wu-Tang Forever, Meth finished his rhyme. Now he's out. And now Ghost, like, I can't even get all y'all in one place. So let's go somewhere else so we could record together. So I always felt like with Tribe, as soon as everybody started kind of going their own separate way and not coming back together to record, like, I believe in energy. So I'm like, yo, we write our rhymes in my mom's basement. Come on, y'all, let's get back to mom's basement. Like, I don't care if you live in Beverly Hills. I don't care if you live in Atlanta. We coming back to Linden Boulevard. We going to go to the takeout that we used to go to all the time. Like, I believe in energy, and I don't believe a lot of that is happening nowadays. Like I said with the Common album, Nobody's Smiling, when he was like, yo, we're going to do an album about Chicago and the violence. And then I hear it, and I'm like, to do that album, you got to move to Chicago. Like, that means Common, you and No ID, y'all need to take a break from No ID's an executive at Def Jam and you acting. Y'all got to move to Chicago. I want y'all to go to these funerals. I want y'all to go to these church services. I want you to sit in on these town hall meetings. If you want to do an album talking about the violence in Chicago, my nigga, you can't do that from Beverly Hills.
Right.
You can't do that while you're on set with Angela Jolie. No ID. You can't do that in New York while you signing new artists. And I feel like that's what rappers don't do anymore. The art that they grew up loving now becomes a pain in the ass. I feel like most of these rappers be like, yo, you need to get in the studio. They be like, fuck, oh, God, okay, fine. Like, let me go to the studio where this was the place you used to fight. Yo, Ev, Yao, Vern, you used to do it. We all knew back in the day, yo, somebody say studio. I don't care if you had a date with the baddest girl.
Everything gets shut down.
You was like, yo, the studio, I call you later, shorty. Hang up. Like,
everything gets shut down.
But then when you get to a certain point, you're like, oh God, okay, let's go, y'all. Let's go. And I believe that's what I meant by Jay Electronica. I felt like it was like, fine, Jay, I'll do the album. Like, cool, I owe you an album, fine, let me get this out the way so I can get back to my acting career. And I feel like after Midnight, that's just what happened. That energy was gone and just never came back.
Agreed.
most definitely.
Yeah. So what's your recording mode when you're working on an album? Do you have a mode? Do you have an energy? Like, are you like, yo, we got to eat at this bodega, or we record in this studio, or what's your process?
For me, you know, I do all of my writing in the crib, and then I go to the studio after I finish rehearsing it. And so here's my agenda. Normally, I'll be in the crib working on however many songs it is, at least 3. I book a session for either 4 to 8 hours. I go in there. I got water. I got weed. I got gummy bears. A lot of gummy bears, and I lock in. Like I normally don't have a lot of people in my session. Normally, just me, the engineer, and whoever's working on a particular record. It's never like. Well, recently, I've had people in there, but it's gonna stop pretty soon after this whole Corona shit dies down anyway. So I don't keep a lot of people in the studio with me. I go in there, I'm in there to work. I'm paying money for my studio sessions, so we in there to work. Like, I'm not gonna be in here shooting shit with y'all, like talking shit about a whole. We'll have our conversations about random shit just because, you know, just naturally as we're in there. But I'm be playing around. We ain't gonna have people in here partying and just, you know. I never been that guy. So, but I get in there. I try to get a song done within an hour to an hour and a half most times. If it's a song that I'm working on, I'm not really confident on, I'll probably take 2 hours, 2.5 hours to work on it, depending upon what's going on. It'd be a lot of punching, maybe some rewriting, whatever the case may be. But I try to get a song done. So in a 4-hour session, I try to get at least minimum 3 songs done.
Okay, and they're all written before. Like,
yeah.
they're done.
Sometimes I'll go to the studio and finish up a verse, maybe finish up like a 4 or 8 bar verse that it needs a little fixing or whatever the case may be. But for the most part, my songs are like ready and rehearsed before I even get in there.
All right. And what about you, Ed? What's your writing process?
My process right now is I had to accept that my process changes, you know, because my environment changed. So I don't live on the East Coast anymore. I'm out on the West Coast. And to me, I feel like your environment plays a huge part in what you absorb and what you take and what you write and how you write. And so for me, it's a process of getting settled into that and settled into the space. And now, like a lot of stuff happens now. Like I'm writing, I say a project right now. It'll be an album, but it's more of a theater piece.
And can you talk about what you and Marjani are doing?
Yeah. We're working on this project called A Prophet's Tale. And basically what it is, it's the journey of the MC. And when I'm saying MC, I'm not talking about the cast of the Sun. I'm talking about cats like y'all, cats who write and are still writing, because writing is an art form. It's basically shining light to the art form of the actual work, as opposed to just this thing that exists under the umbrella of hip hop. We need to start pulling these pieces out, because all these things are art forms, and unless we look at DJing as an art form, we're not going to see the shit that record's really doing. You know what I'm saying? So to me, A Prophet's Tale is about that. Let's pull it out of the obituary. I mean, the clouds, and let's look at the actual form itself, and let's study this form. Let's understand what it takes to become. How did Yao become Yao? What was his environment? What was his upbringing? What did he absorb in? How does his mind think? What happened in that process to actually start writing written word? Because, you know, to me, MCs and lyricists, they're prophets. You're not just a storyteller, you're the translator. So you're translating for a whole mass of people who can't understand what it is that they're singing, but they have to understand it through your eyes. So it's so much involved in that. And, you know, there's connections to, of course, you know, there's connections to embodiment. There's a section on embodiment that I'll talk about. There's a section on Rumi that I'll talk about. So right now, that's what we're working on. So right now I'm writing that and writing other things. My process right now is a lot longer than what it used to be. One of the reasons, because now you get older, you know, it's me, it's my wife, I got my child, I'm in the studio. I don't have a bunch of other ears, which I wish I did. I wish I had my man over here in the corner, or, you know, my cousin over here who could tell me like, shit is cool, but you could do a little something better. So a lot of times now I have to be my own self-critic, which is, you know, I'm pretty critical. So I'll write the shit and I'll spend time just really breaking it down, breaking it apart, and then having to go back and write it again.
That's all cursed.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Exactly. So that's like beautiful. That's been my process now. And, you know, then I take now, because it's a theater piece, we take it to the stage and see how the audience, because we've done about 3 shows now. And it's like little things here to see how the audience responds to it. And it's really interesting to see the demographic of people who are actually listening and paying attention. I'll say that. But as far as my process, man, that's
Please
good.
send out that link too, the one that you sent me.
For sure.
Send it to everybody, because the stuff they're doing is so dope. Like, I mean, it is dope. And again, I feel like this is a story that hasn't been told, because you guys, you know, I'm always amazed by stuff I can't do. I can't rap. I try to rap. T says I'm stuck in 1985. Whenever I rap, I sound like Curtis Blow. Like, I tell you this, if it was 1983, goddamn it, I'm the best MC walking the planet Earth right now. I am the best MC. I'm slaughtering every cypher.
Yo, that's exactly what I was thinking.
It was 1983, y'all. Y'all are talking about me like I am God. But since it's 2020, I suck. So, but I'm just amazed by it. And Yao and Evan both been on my process show, because it's amazing. What y'all do as writers is amazing to me, because I can't do it. And it's amazing. I've done the show with 8 different people, and 8 different people all have 8 totally different processes on how they write their rhymes or how they write their songs. And I'm like, it's amazing to me. So I commend you on what you're doing, because I feel like, and I think Jay-Z said it, it's like, you guys are like authors. Like, and I think like we've kind of like downplayed it, like, oh, they just MCs. And it's like, nah, nigga, like they're authors, like the same way that you would look at, you know, a Donald Goines, or, you know, anybody who has this great body of written literature work. I feel like MCs are right there, you know, and I feel like this piece is the beginning of something bigger that can be coming, you know what I mean, for MCs.
Hopefully, because I would love for that to people to pay more attention, and then not stop at MCs. I would love somebody to pay more attention, because, I mean, we talk about hip hop, man, and you're dealing with alchemists. You're dealing with cats that are actually taking the thing and reshaping it and giving you something different. And it exists in so many, you know, you talk about graph writers, you talk about DJs, you talk about beat makers. It's like every single form is a form of, exactly. And it's alchemy. So I really want, you know, I'm hoping that this will open up other doors. Go ahead, my bad.
Could you define that? I'm one of those people. I'm one of those people who ain't got no problem saying I know alchemists. I just don't know what alchemy means. I got no problem saying
there is a book called The Alchemist, where basically it's a form of taking, I believe it's lead or coal, and turn it into gold.
Yeah. Okay.
So going through this whole process. So when I say alchemist, it's like, you know, we take, you know, it was a story. I was talking to a buddy of mine who's he's a graph writer, but he was talking about when they started breaking in the Bronx. And he was like, yo, somebody found a refrigerator box and just cut the refrigerator box open, laid it out, and it's like, we're going to get busy right here. Every single form in hip hop, we've done that. We take samples and we flip them. We take records and we flip them. We take cans of spray paint and we flip that shit. Yeah. And to me, that's just like, and redefine them. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's something that, you know, we have to stop looking at, oh, it's hip hop, oh, it's rap, oh, it's it's art. This is some real fucking art.
And the pillars, I mean, this totally ties into, like, I think on a couple shows ago, we mentioned the pillars of hip hop, like kind of getting lost somewhere along the way. But I think when I learned about hip hop as a kid, I was taught about the pillars because that was so prevalent. We still saw graph, we still saw, you know, all of the breakdancing. We saw, like, you know, DJs actually spinning and scratching and that kind of thing. So you had to know what the hell they were doing. Otherwise you missed components of what you were actually, like, immersed in, you know? And I think that it's so important to bring the pillars back and what that is and what that, you know, what it means and why they're important and how they play. Because what happens is, like, people write and you just think they're writing, but there's so much more to that, like you said, Ev. And I think it's beautiful what you're kind of doing in that project and that whole thing, breaking it down and even breaking it down even further. Like, it's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant, and it's so needed. So thank you for that.
Indeed.
And one of the things that, in Porsche, what you talking about the pillars, I think was so huge, is just even having Vern on here, learning more about the Southern pillars. You know what I mean? Of hip hop, because I don't, you know what I mean? Just Vern, who were you saying was spinning? DJ Pinky?
DJ Smurf.
Smurf.
DJ Smurf. He started from.
I apologize. No
No,
disrespect.
Pinky?
I know. No.
I wasn't gonna say that. I was gonna let it ride, but Pinky.
I was watching. You know what I was watching next Friday? Pinky's record store.
Say it one more time.
I was thinking that.
One more again.
So he was spinning. He started like, because Atlanta hip hop actually really got a lot of origins from Miami bass sound. So he took it back to like Jam Pony Express and all of that kind of stuff, and took it all the way to Atlanta, Kizzy Rock, Kilo. Because before Dungeon, Kilo was one of the first ones. MC Shy D, Raheem the Dream. It was more dance music, dance music.
That's skating ring bass music.
Yeah. And so a lot of people frown on it, man, but those were some of the best times in my life in high school, listening to, like, he played the whole Set It Off, and I guarantee you it's like 1,500 people from SWATs in College Park. We all on there, yeet, so that's what it was. And you kind of used to, how you used to be ashamed of something until you got older. Like, man, it's kind of like you was ashamed of your Uncle Willie for whatever it is he did, man. That's your fam, and that's the way I felt. And we were really glad that Smurf got on Instagram Live and spent what we rock to, man, because that's what Atlanta is. And that without that, you don't get Stacks, you don't get Reek, you don't get T.I., you don't get all of that, because all of that is embedded in them, and they took it and elevated the form, like you said, El, and added their pieces on it. That's why Cass is so so great to us, is because
tell me this. So that's the origin of a lot of Atlanta hip hop. How was it when Outkast came out with more boom bap hip hop? Were people looking at him like, y'all trying to be like New York and them, or y'all?
No, they were different.
Because the thing about that is you got to remember PA, and because Reek talked about this, he was on Combat Jack, him and Sleep. I think Ray was at his son's law school graduation, so he wasn't there. But PA, they had elements of organized, but Reek was like, we was trying to be New York, kind of. And so when that didn't do what they thought it would do, they was like, man, forget this. We about to be us. We about to put the organs in. We about to put the live instrumentation in. And we just needed some MCs who could spit. And they found Big and Dre, who grew up on Far Side and Tribe and all that stuff. So you got, because that's how we were. I'm originally from Gary, Indiana, but I'm from Atlanta. I'm from College Park. So we was all up on EPMD and all of that stuff, but we still had the Miami bass and the Shadis and all that stuff. So we never heard anything, because we, Eric B and all that stuff. We never disrespected any of that, but we didn't have anything that was our own. And so Cass and them grew up listening to all of those influences, but they put the catfish and grits with it, man. And that's why they're so beloved. That's why no bad thing will ever be said about them or organized, because that's us, man. That's Atlanta. We that's the thing about Atlanta, Cat. I'll say this about College Park. I always say this. I grew up with D-boys and debutantes. Killers, no, for real. I mean, I got dudes doing
I believe it. I believe it.
Murder,
I
and
believe
rape.
it. It's two extremes.
Yeah, and you learn how to navigate all those waters together to be, and that's what Outkast is, man. So that's my long soliloquy on that.
No, that's dope. That's dope.
Hey, Kill, not to interrupt.
I know you.
I got a dip. I got a little one. It's story time. I got to read story time before we go to bed.
Hey, you do what you got to do. I'm just mad.
I appreciate you.
Before you go, Yinz hit me up and said to say hello to everybody. He's stuck working. Yinz, he's stuck working, but he said, please say hello to all the Apartment 5B people. Indeed. Send his regards. So
peace. Yeah. Nah, that's dope. That's dope.
All right, Ab, good looking, bro. And again, I'm not trying to hold nobody. Love you too, good brother. But before we get off, I mean, I know you gotta go, Ev, but just 2 seconds. Childish Gambino, you not feeling it?
On first listen, no, but I can't give a real statement until I listen to the whole thing. For me. I gotta go all the way through it first to give a good, honest opinion.
Bye, Ev. Thank you for doing this.
Thank you for having me.
Peace.
Anybody else listen to the Childish Gambino I sent out?
I gave it a listen today.
What you think, y'all?
No lie, that joint is slapping. I love
it. I love it.
In front, like I love it. Right now, my joints are. There's a joint on there with 21 Savage that I was impressed with. I was like, this is a dope record. I think it's 1238. I fuck with Algorithm. I fuck with 2419. 39, 35, 31. Yo, so they're all like. So the entire album is the names of the songs are basically the timestamps of the album.
And the thing is, y'all, I sent you the email I sent out has the OG joint. So it has the name of the songs. But yo, I love it. The joint you're talking about is called Vibrate with 21 Savage.
Bruh,
yo,
that joint is amazing.
I reviewed the album and I said that song is like the bastard child of Adore meets Ballad of Dorothy Parker. It's such a Prince-ish. The way Prince was talking to Ballad of Dorothy Parker and the way like he wasn't I mean, and again, I'll catch out. I may not catch out. Why don't nobody like Chance? Like, when did Chance become the bad guy? Like, coloring book people like Chance, and then just all of a sudden, like, I never get the memo. I don't think I'm on the fucking like black listserv of. I'm not with Black Lives Matter because I never get the memo.
I personally, I think Chance is a solid rapper. I think I didn't like his last album, but I think I like Chance. So
I think it's all the other stuff. I felt
like was incredible. Like, but then it was the same thing. Like, Porsche still jokes with me. Like, yo, when's the last time you listened to your Justin Timberlake album? I like the last Justin album. Like, I always miss the memo of when I'm like, when did people stop liking Justin Timberlake? Like, when did this happen? Like, but this Donald Glover, I think Glover's a genius, man. I think from what he's doing with Atlanta and the acting and the comedy and the singing, and I love the Awaken My Love joint. The last album, and this joint just sounds just crazy.
Quite as kept. I mean, Donald Glover is like in the running for best black person of all time. Like we're not even like as far as like
we can't go all the time. Yeah, we got Sandy. Let's say the new millennium. Let's say the new millennium. Like
let me clarify. I'm going to say like one of the most talented. Like just talent.
Let's do that.
Okay,
that's my bad.
I'll take that.
My fault. Because I mean, acting. I watched a stand-up comedy joint from this dude from like
he's funny.
That shit was hilarious.
He's funny.
The music he's been putting out, I mean, last couple of years. I know you. He put, 2 years ago, he put out a joint called "Feels Like Summer," and I still play that record like at least once a week.
That's on this joint.
Yeah. So
all right. But Porsche, Rec, check it out, Vern. I think you
just downloaded it. I just downloaded it.
Check it out tomorrow.
I just want to say hi to Homegrown L. I think she's watching. She's all the way over in the UK, I believe. And she's out here streaming Apartment 5B. She's on a call with another friend of hers. So just want to shout her out.
Shout out.
Awesome, dope. Thank you.
Peace to the UK. I got family out there. That's what's up.
Is Shauna P watching?
Yep, she in here. She just said peace. So
what up, Purdy?
Hey.
She out of jail. That's what's up.
She's so dope. Yeah, it was good to have her back for sure.
Yes. I got to shout out my home. I want to shout out my homegirl Snobby again. She
Snobby came through with us tonight. She was rocking with us.
She's in here. She wants to be on the show next time. We're trying to get her on. I'm gonna try to get her on and see what's going on for the next joint.
Yeah, and again, these just the Corona Chronicles. This is just being stuck in the house and you just looking at walls all day and and everything like that. And the hard part with this for me, y'all, is that I actually love my job. Like that's the hardest part for me. Like I miss being in the hood with my kids. I don't know what the hell is going on out there. And like that's the hardest thing for me, like right now. And y'all know what I was dealing with my kids behind the scenes.
Right.
And it's killing me to not be there, and to not, and I know they ain't practicing no social distancing in the hood. Like I already know that these mofos in each other house right now, but yeah, that's killing me. So yeah, again, just Corona Chronicles. We just kicking it, giving everybody a chance to see everybody. Any last words? Anything good? Anything left?
I mean,
just stay inside. Stay inside.
Yeah, man. Y'all
the longer people going outside, the longer quarantine. So stay.
And it's crazy when you posted that thing with them dudes hooping in LA. I'm like, yo,
that was New York.
That was New York.
But they was hooping in Venice too.
The clip I posted in LA. I actually have a homeboy who was hooping and came in the group chat and said he had a couple game winners, I wanted to scream and be like, yo, but I'm not your dad.
You got some game winners already. You got that game winning coronavirus now.
You about to get a life ender. Like,
Damn right.
man. I mean,
you know what I'm saying? Like, this shit is, people will not understand it. Like, I'm not sure if people just don't think it's real, but people need to stay inside. Stay inside. Like, bro, I had a little panic, not panic attack, but I was just a little anxiety today because I was like, damn, I really haven't done shit. I've been in the house last 4 days, but I'm like, yo, I kind of just like breathing. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
Anything is cool to me. You know what I'm saying? If that's what it is, if me being inside means I can breathe easy, then
I'll take it.
Yeah, I gotta roll with it.
What I think is, I don't think people understand why it's such an important thing. And it's because the whole entire world does not have enough ventilators for people. So what that means is, apparently this virus, whether you want to believe it or not, I don't know, but apparently this virus gets you to the point where you actually require a ventilator to breathe. And there is not enough to go around. There's just not enough, because the people catching this is faster than the people recovering from it. So what happens is there's going to be a big sea of people that catch this, and there won't be enough equipment, hospital beds, like actual establishments to be able to help people. And that's where the concern is. Like, if you can stay in, just stay in, please, because I am not wanting to stay home anymore. And the longer we drag this out, the longer we're going to have to stay home. So I don't know.
I'll tell.
Oh, I'm sorry, Rick.
No, I was gonna say, I'll tell you like this. Like, for those that don't know, I'm in the Army, right? It's so crazy that we stopped operations for recruiting. And for us, that's rule number one. Recruiting takes precedence over everything in the Army, regardless of what you have seen or what you think. If we've stopped, this is real. So take all the precautionary measures, do what you got to do, and just be safe, man.
Yeah, and I think at the end of the day, the worst part is, even once this gets cleaned up, prayerfully if it does, the ramifications of the economy. You know, there's so many people who have lost jobs. There's so many people who aren't working. I had to go get some medicine today, and I'm just driving down 301, which is the main strip in Waldorf. Everything is closed. Everything is closed. So I mean, I'm just even trying to think about just even outside the box, like, you know, you know, prayers for your uncle passing, and same thing for you, Porsche. You know, I know you had a loved one pass, but it's just like, even with that, like, how do we do funerals now? How do weddings are canceled? Like, you know, there are just so many things. Like, kids are like, what about my prom? Like, what about graduation? They've canceled how was graduation? So, you know, this affects so many different people.
College entrance exams are being affected. When anyone who knows me knows I'm a huge advocate for education. When I heard about the schools and these kids that are high school kids that are trying to get into colleges and they cannot take the exams anymore for that, like, that's a really, really big deal. That's heartbreaking. They've worked so hard for this, and now it's taken. And it's so upsetting. It's so upsetting.
It is.
This week, go ahead, Pete.
No, go ahead, Vern. I'm going to switch the subject, so go ahead.
This week alone, 3 people. The guy Tuesday was at the subdivision, wrote a contract. I called him Wednesday. Hey, man, I forgot to get your work number. Let me look on the portal. They laid me off, man. 2 more people in today. You know, and I'm thinking about, like, my man at Moves Music. I love that place and Little 5 Points, man. Struggling, man. I mean, barbershops. Bro, small business is like the freaking apocalypse right now.
Yeah, they're obliterated for sure.
Yeah, and so it's just going to be Walmart and Amazon.
That's correct.
And all of that stuff, man. So it's all that. People don't take all that to the effect when they want to go to doggone spring break and doggone Mardi Gras. Man, stay home.
Yeah. And it's bad. I know in Pennsylvania and in Ohio, they've shut down barbershops and beauty salons and tattoo parlors. So and things are changing. My tattoo artist sent the email today, like, yo, still doing consultations online. And like an hour later, she sent another one, like, nope, you know, we've been shut down, you know, so things are changing. Like, literally, like, every morning I wake up, I get a good half hour of what's going on. And then before I go to bed, I'll watch a good half hour of what's going on just to try to stay updated, because every day And literally, something did, like I said, my tattoo artist sent me the email at 1, and by 3 there was a email saying, "Nope, forget about that email." What were you gonna say, Vern?
Man, it's important. Get a little information, but brother, do not put that on a continuous loop.
No.
I ain't talking about you. I'm just talking about everybody that's watching. Pray, meditate, do your scriptures, whatever it is that you do, and think about good things, positive things. We're not burying our head in the sand, but you would drive yourself crazy if you just keep watching. 50,000 people got it, not 55 people. Yeah. So.
Yeah. And like I said, for me, that's why it's like morning, half hour before bed, or, I make sure Nay's not around because I don't want, that's the other thing. People home with kids, and I feel good. Rec, you have little ones. Like I'm good with a teenager, but I'm praying for you folk out there who got newborns, or you got people who are having kids right now, who are having to bring their infants home into this. You know what I mean? So I think that, we're thinking about ourselves, but like I always say, let's pray for everybody. And on a positive note, my challenge for people, and I've been doing this all week, is just set some goals, get some things accomplished during these times. You know what I mean? Like, I get it. There are people who are laid off. There are people who aren't working. There are people, I thank God for my job because we're still getting paid, but set some goals and let's get some stuff accomplished. I don't want to walk away from this 8 weeks of quarantine and all you can say is, I watched every season of, The Get Down and, The Wire and The Sopranos. Like, no, like let's accomplish some stuff. Like, start on that book you've been wanting to write, start on that website or, take an online, like just do something. So when we come out of this, you can say, is what I always tell my parents, or whenever I hire people at my job from the community, I want you to leave here with more than what you came in with.
Right.
I don't want you leaving. I don't want to hire a mom that has who hasn't done well in her life, leaving, working with me the same way. Like, so come out of this quarantine better. I don't care if you read some books, read a how-to book, like learn. I saw this dude. I don't know if y'all saw. Do y'all remember that Killer Mike had a show on Netflix?
Yep.
And when they were doing the thing with the plumber, the guy was like, I became a plumber. I was laid off and I was watching YouTube every day. And now I'm a plumber. Like, this dude didn't go to plumbing school. He just watched YouTube videos all day. So you literally could come out of this quarantine as a plumber. Like, like literally anything you want to know how to do is on YouTube. Like, when people like, how'd you learn how to edit? YouTube. How'd you learn how to shoot? YouTube. Like, you can. So there are no excuses for anybody to come out of this quarantine not a doper person the way you went in.
Yeah.
So.
I'm telling all y'all. Go ahead.
Sorry,
please.
one more thing. Elle from UK is asking about any album recommendations that you guys have for this lockdown.
Here you go.
Whether she's listened to them or not, or whether we've heard of them or not, she just wants some recommendations. So if you guys throw them out there.
We are starting with the Donald Glover Presents. You got to start with that. The new Childish Gambino. I don't know if y'all are up on him. Pink Sweats. He's out of Philly. He's a songwriter out of Philly.
The Chubby Boy.
The Chubby Boy, Volume 1.
The Chubby Boy.
Volume 1. I'm banging Summer Walker's Clear EP.
You like Summer Walker?
I love Summer Walker. There's this name, I can't pronounce it, but it's Michael Kiwanuka. And he has this album. I don't know if anybody can see this. If she's watching, how the fuck am I wrong?
No, other way.
Other way.
Up.
Up. That Michael Kiwanuka. That's very dope. It's this other dude, Jacob Banks. Very, very dope. Jacob Banks. That's very, very dope album. But that's what I've been banging lately. And I'm scared to put up these 2 Drake songs I like.
Lord.
I'm sorry. I like that when
to say
when.
I know Apartment 5B likes that guy.
I hate to say it. I like that when to say when he's rhyming over Song Cry. I don't.
Oh Lord, he's rhyming over Song Cry.
Lord, where is
it? Shit.
My God.
People were listen. I thought it was dope, but I also am a fan. I'm
about to say you a fan, bro.
And I didn't want Portia to ruin my mentions because that's what happens when I say something.
Sorry, y'all.
It's okay.
I'll stop.
Listen, all content to my page, all traffic to my page is good traffic. So brother, Love it. But I thought it was dope. But I was in the minority from what I saw on Twitter. But
I love the joint. As soon as I heard it, I was like, "Yo, this and Portia's gonna look at me crazy." But this is the Drake that I like. I like Drake. This is just rhyming Drake. And I know Kanye has been. I know I don't get the memos, but I know Kanye has been, cut. But this Jesus is Born Sunday Service Choir album is probably the dopest gospel album I've heard in the last 10 years. Easy. So if y'all can, Kanye's not on it. He doesn't do a song, but the choir sounds incredible. And then also I haven't heard it yet, but Fred the Godson that Yao put me on to because he said Yao had a post about 150 rappers who are better than Guru, and I'm like, who the fuck is Fred the Godson? Who is Fred the goddamn Godson?
From the BX, man.
Yo, I was like, yo, you naming people who ain't even real, and Yao was like, yo, Fred is nasty, and Fred is nice. Fred is nasty. And Fred just dropped a new album that I gotta check out. But the guy, he has a joint called God Level. That's a really dope album that I like. And yeah, I don't know if you saw, he's in the studio with the Hitmakers.
Yeah, he's been working with it for the last year or so. He's been doing some joints.
But the problem is, I thought Arsonist was gonna do all the God Level, and he only did like 3 joints. But that's like, to me, that's what made Jim Jones' album so dope. Like, still one of the most slept on albums of last year.
Yeah, that Jim
Jones. I still bang that. So yeah, thank you for Fred the Godson. And this is why, y'all, this is where good conversations can come from when people don't even agree. Because I was like, yeah, how are you literally gonna name 150 people that are better than Guru? And I was like, and who is Fred the Godson? Like, what kind of name is that? Like, I don't even know who names their rap.
Oh man,
Fred the Godson.
I saw a funny tweet about Fred the Godson. Let me try to find it.
So those would be the joints I would shout out for.
So we've got Kanye, Lord, Conway and Alchemist dropping.
Yeah, Lulu.
I think I heard somewhere. I think I may have seen it in a tweet. I'm not sure how accurate this is, but Benny the Butcher might be dropping something in the coming.
He mentioned that in his IG.
Right, and I think RJ Payne is also dropping something, which I'm so excited about.
I want to say he dropped something Monday. I want to say he dropped it today. On his website. I think he said on his website you can get if Cocaine Can Talk. I think it's like volume 4.
There's the one. Yeah, that's the one. I thought it was dropping. I thought it was dropping in the end of the week.
And I want to say that this is the one he went out to Detroit. So I think this is the one with Royce is on there, and I think Mr. Porter did some stuff.
RJ Payne is amazing. He's so good.
Yeah. I'm still hoping. He said he picked one of my beats, so I'm still hoping he uses it.
Payne is
literally, when I saw the new album, I was like looking for my name. I was like, okay. But yeah, so that's some dope music for everybody. Yeah, I'll give them all the info. Where can they get at you? Buy your music, all that great stuff. And just for people to know, and I don't say this just because this is my brother and I love him, but Yao's an extremely dope MC. Like, and that's something that I seldomly say about people. And when I talk about Yao, I put him in the same context as Benny, Conway, the Fontes, like, of the greats, you know what I mean? And that's literally how I look at him as an MC. The stuff he's done with the stuff you did with the NFL Network. Because I told you, I think when we met at Bird's Barbecue, that people were getting at me like, yo, Kill, you got to get with this dude who's doing these NFL pieces. Like, you know what I mean? And these are my dudes who really don't even like hip hop like that, but they were big NFL dudes. And they was like, yo, Kill, it's this MC who be doing these spots for ESPN for the joints, and I was like, yeah, that's actually my man. So just a very dope MC, very dope MC.
Real stunt, real quick.
People got to follow Yao on Instagram because sometimes he drops these gems on his video, on his story.
I've been begging this man to drop Deladon. We did the song, and I don't know. I felt some kind of way. I'm like, does he not like it? This song is incredible. How does this not make an album?
I love it, but so I plan on putting this out, once I can get back in the studio and start finishing it. But I'm thinking about actually just putting out the Deladon pretty soon. I got the files. I just got the files because when I played it, I realized I didn't even have the files. So I got the files yesterday. So I'll probably send it to get mixed and probably release it soon. But Deladon is a good record, man. You know what I mean? Like, I got some records in the tuck. They're coming out. I'll probably just start dropping them, honestly, because I'm not, I mean, as far as what I'm doing in the house, you know
And
what I mean?
please do not drop this as no lost tape shit. Like this is not the shit that. No. Because I don't want when people do that, they're like, "Oh, this is the shit that didn't make the album."
Right.
No.
Don't drop it as a lost tape.
Definitely not. But I am gonna play some. I might decide tomorrow to play some joints that got left off the album, this past album that got left off. I might play some joints from there. But yeah, yo, you know what I'm saying? I got some joints coming out. Yao G's music at Twitter. Yao G's music at IG. You know, just follow me for good hip hop banter, sports banter, and just all dopeness that we can put on the interwebs. That's what I'm about. So
Right, give him everything, good brother.
Hey, I gotta apologize, man. I was late to the party. I was actually doing a mix. I looked at my phone and was like, "Oh, I'm late." So I do gotta apologize, man.
Oh man, this is the Corona Hangouts, man. This ain't no late to the party. Just
yeah, but you know me, I try to be punctual, man. So the mixes will be up tonight and tomorrow. I just did 2 of them. You can catch them on Mixcloud. Just go to my Twitter. I'll post them. Twitter is at DJRec1. Instagram is at DJRec1. Produce a DJ. Got a couple joints on my man Yao's album. I got to tell a quick story. It's been on my heart. He was talking earlier. I don't know if you know this, Yao, but I made Crushed Grapes, which is Chase's Groove, for my daughter. So I never told you this. So when I made that, it was just something that I made with my daughter on my heart. And for you to take that and the way you flipped it, man, I love you for that, because
hey, bro,
I heard it like real shit. I shed a tear, dog.
Hey,
I
man.
shed a tear because I didn't know what you was gonna do with it, or if you was gonna do anything with anything I had sent you. So
Yeah.
I appreciate that, man.
Hey, man, look, you know what I'm saying? It's all relative, you know what I mean? I was trying to, the music inspired me, so I appreciate you too. So I'm saying it's all for a purpose.
Appreciate it, man. That's where you can catch my stuff at, man. So
yeah,
hit me up.
Red got a couple joints on my album. Kill got the intro on my album.
Got the banging intro to wake your ass up.
Wake check that out. Definitely.
Brian, give them all the info, good brother.
Instagram V the Lone Closer and Twitter V Chandler 10.
What's going on with the housing market right now, man?
Well, all right. So I gotta say this. Hey, man, the interest rate is not 0%.
You been getting that question?
Oh my
They been
God!
hitting you up. Hey, can I get a loan now for 0%?
0.25%. That's what the feds charge the banks. That, you know, like I told a dude, the $100 jeans you got on, you think it cost Macy's $100 to get those jeans? No, they got them from the from the wholesaler. The wholesaler got it from the manufacturer. Every price is passed down. Same thing here. Right now we're kind of business as usual, but like I don't go to any closings anymore because the attorney said that only the people that can sign could be there. And now attorneys are doing, like my girl Tiffany Halls, shout out to Halls Law Firm. She's got she has a table outside and they sign. So it's getting hectic.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and what's happening now though, like courthouses are closing down, so you can't get titles.
How about say you can't do a title search?
Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's getting a little dicey, but you know, God is in control. We can be all right.
All right. And Porsche, give him everything.
Twitter at Shayla Porsche.
Tommy Mottola.
And prayerfully, I need Lulu to plug to please give me my Twitter back. So I need Lulu. I need people out there who ask why they named Lulu.
You need Lulu.
Lulu was the plug for Paid in Full. Because people like, why are on this album Lulu? That was the plug for Paid in Full. I need Lulu to give me my account back there. So I mean,
I'm working hard for you, bro. Honestly, I keep it a buck with you. When I sent the email, I was like, yo, he probably gonna shut me down. He was like, nah, send his info. I got you. Like Matt, so
if he needs a cash app incentive, just seriously, good brother, I just need this back. So, and y'all know what it is for me. In the time being, it's Kill APT 5B, which is killing me to say because Kill 889 is just
comes off, right?
For the past 11 years. And we'll make beats for food. Let me explain something to y'all. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Y'all have made, I can't tell you how much love Apartment 5B gets. And I'm always like, it's y'all. Like, it's all the blessings of all this come together. I mean, Yao's the only person here who I've met face to face. Everybody else has been just through this virtual, wonderful world of Twitter. And I believe I believe everything happens for a reason. So I don't even know. Porsche, I just remember me and you never agreed on shit. That was the nature of me and Porsche's relationship. It literally, this was our relationship. It would be somebody would post something that would be like, I would say left and she would say right. And then like just one day it was like we kept agreeing. It was like, this is weird. Vern, I think we met through the mixtape, the boot camp.
Boot camp. Sade and boot camp. Yep. Right. I remember I was at a mall and I was like, that's when we really started chopping up. I was listening to Pharrell. Yeah, that's how we met.
And with Rec, I remember he sent me a mix to listen to. And here's the thing, like, the reason I really don't do those IG things with Primo and D-Nice and all that is just because I got so much music that it's very hard for a DJ to play something that I don't have or I don't remember. And Rec sent me a mix, and like the second song, I was like, yo, I haven't heard this song in like forever. And I was like, that's how I connected with Rec, because I'm like, not too many DJs can play something that I can say I don't have or I haven't heard. So I love the team. I love everything, you know. And like I always say,
and I just want to say a huge thank you to everybody who streamed, who joined us, who started convos in the comments. You guys know that's one of my favorite things about what we talk about is the dialogue, the conversation. So Shauna,
Frank, Eddie,
Coco. Thank you so much for the link, and then Homegrown L from UK, like, thank you guys so much for tuning in.
Yeah, and the Blessed Girl. There's so many people. We gotta get new to this. So again, we'll do this every Monday or something as time permits, you know. But I do like doing this because I'm doing strictly hip hop for so long. I'm so anal on everything being right. So that's why I'm like, I never did a live show. I want to edit it. I want to put a music bed under it. I want an intro. But this was dope. This is dope to just see people come in with their questions and everything like that. So yeah, looking forward to y'all. I appreciate y'all. We will chop it up again sometime soon. And if y'all go crazy enough, just hit me up and we can do a show anytime. The Corona Chronicles.
Yeah, I mean, there it is.
When you're about to kill a wife or kill a kid, you know, just call me. Or when you about to jump out a window, because one last question real quick. What do you think should happen with the NBA season? Do y'all think they should just cancel it? Do they pick up? Do they start from the playoffs? Just real quick, Vern, what do you think they should do?
That's a good
of course, what were you about to say?
I was going to say, I hope that they can cancel the NFL and just keep the NBA going through the whole year, and just as if Corona didn't even happen. Just cancel the NFL. I'm all for that. I will spearhead this movement.
That's America's baby. That's America's baby.
I know it is, but you know what? If we got to get rid of something, let's get rid of the NFL.
All right. Okay. What you got?
It's really hard to answer that question because we don't know how long this.
Well, really, what would be your shutoff? What would be your shutoff? Like, if we can't get a game by the end of April.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, that just needs to be dead. And if they can get a game, do you want a season or do you want them to go straight to the playoffs?
Playoffs, I guess the top, I would say top 4 teams or whatever. I mean, because you lost a lot of games. And then, because the thing is, if you stretch it out too long, when does the next season start?
Right.
Yeah. And when does the draft? Rex, same thing? What do you think?
Nah, I was going to say, it depending on when all of this plays out, if we can jump into it by the end of April, I say play 10 games, 10 warm-up games, get your legs back, because not everybody is going to be doing what LeBron is doing right now.
And I was going to say, not everyone's going to be playoff ready.
Right.
Trust me, Joe.
They can just cancel the NFL. And I'm not saying this jokingly. Cancel the NFL because they haven't even started. So just cancel the NFL and carry basketball through.
Right.
Because I can guarantee you Joel Embiid is not in shape right now.
Oh, no. He's eating cheesesteaks, man. He had a Cheesecake Factory down South Philly. You already know. But I say play 10 games. Get the legs under themselves, treat it like a preseason, but go at it. You know what I'm saying? If there's teams that got, playoff implications, go at them playoff implications. Take the top 8 and run with it.
All right. What about you, yeah? Same thing?
I don't even know, man. I feel like, there's a lot of shit that was coming up in this Western Conference, Like, there's a lot of teams that we need to see some shit from. So, honestly, I feel like, you play out the rest of the season the rest of this season. Just play out the rest of the games, the rest of the playoffs. You shorten the next season. Don't start the next season until like February and just play a 40 game season or whatever it is, and then get back to reality. Get back to the real season in 2021-22. That'll be back on schedule. I think that's how you have to do it because there's some intriguing shit that was happening.
This has never happened.
Clippers, Lakers. You know what I mean? We're talking about Luka Doncic's first playoffs. We're talking about. I can't just say like, oh, I don't want these teams to be in. Like, there's teams I need to see.
Right.
I need to see. You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
and I think too, because that was going to be my thing. How do we get this back on schedule? Because the NBA draft. When do we do the draft?
You
when
can't
do we do any of that?
You can't do it on schedule. You have to. The draft. The draft can be virtual. All that other shit is for the networks. You can virtually draft those players and do what you got to do. But
you gotta wait for the end of the year to see who's leaving, who's signing, to know who you want to sign. Who you want to draft.
Yeah. I mean, they'll figure it out the same way that everybody else is from a virtual standpoint. There's things that you don't necessarily got to physically be in place to do. They can do that. They just got to put it in play.
And here's the thing. I mean, are people gonna be? Do I really want to go in the post with Rudy Gobert right now? Like,
hell no.
I mean, and not right now. not right now.
I would never ever want to go back in the post with Rudy Gobert. But took this whole thing for a joke.
But this is the problem. I mean, KD got it. You know what I mean? So this is the thing.
KD had it when he was at UT. We just ain't know.
Okay. Well, and on that note,
his hair gave us the whole sign. His hair.
On that note, right there, I will check y'all next week, y'all.
Okay, bye, guys.
Y'all. Don't